Did it.
Ah, what's the actual time? 47. Yeah, the clock on this computer is slow.
Oh.
Mm.
I blame the owner.
I hate it when that happens. Like a closed lid on a cup, but it still manages to go plip. Just when you catch it at the wrong angle. The tiniest Hitler moustache of coffee, you know. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Caradog is back from Monte Carlo. Is it Monte Carlo that you go, or Montenegro? I can't remember. That general gag we do.
So I'm just going to quickly open a map here for you. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
This is Europe. This is France.
Okay.
And in France,
Yeah.
there is. There we go. There's Nice. And then you have Monaco.
Monaco.
See, teeny tiny.
There's Monaco. Okay. Yeah.
This is what the joke is about.
Okay, that's Monaco. Yeah.
Yes.
So where's Monte Carlo?
It's a casino.
Okay, Monte Carlo is a casino in Monaco.
Yes.
Okay. What's Montenegro then?
That's a country.
Okay.
A different one.
Right, slow down here. You know? Can you? They all have Monte in the name. So yeah.
Here is Montenegro.
I see.
That's Montenegro. That's Italy. This is Greece.
I see.
This is Turkey. It's a very different place. This is France. Yes. Jolly good.
Well, slow down, Einstein. You know. All right. So yeah, where is Monte Cristo then?
Anyway, hi.
I mean, there's a count, so you know.
Yes.
I assume it's a place.
Yes.
Greetings, hello everyone. How are we all? Welcome back again. We're here, and I am prepared. I think. Yeah.
Excellent. You are building laptops, fixing laptops.
Maybe anyway. I've got there's a couple of laptops. There's a couple of piles of laptops lying around. I need to look at these piles and be like, is there enough bits here to build a laptop? If not, what's actually missing? And is it cost effective to get the missing parts to build a laptop?
Yes. Get less laptop bits.
Exactly. So I'm going to do that. Then there's also this Latitude. I'm 99% certain doesn't charge, and I think it's got. It's not charging, but only on one side. So I need to see what I'm going to do about that, and see, because that's going to be one of the charging, one of the Type C Thunderbolt chip, not the Thunderbolt chip, the charge control chip. And there's a good chance that I've got at least two of these in pieces around. It's like, okay, well, can we make one working one from the two dead ones? You know.
Yes.
So yes, because in fact the answer to that is yes, because somewhere around. Oh yeah, I'll have to find it because I was going to say somewhere around there's one of these that has a flex crash on it, where basically just if you flex the laptop, it dies.
Oh.
And like it's, and I don't mean like brutalize it. I mean enough that like if you just picked it up haphazardly, it'll just crash. So obviously like there's just some bad solder balls in there somewhere, and it's like whatever. I'm not solving that. You know, that's just to spares repairs now. So you know, like so we
fix that just by putting it in the oven on gas mark 2.
Yeah, wrap it in a towel, right? Yeah. So yeah. Is there mic reverb apparently? Anyone else Graham box sound indeed. Okay. Well, let's restart. Do you want to turn the mic thing off and on again? Okay, there we go. And yeah, turn your one off and on again as well. Yeah, there was quite a gap between when I turned one mic on and then when I turned the other mic on, so maybe that was it. So yeah. There's someone banging at the door who can't figure out that we're closed. So, oh, it's a delivery. Okay, yeah, I'll allow it. I love it how people try the door handle and then they try it a bit harder.
Violence! Oh. There we go.
Oh. Hello there. Thank you very much.
Good.
All right, thank you.
I mean, hopefully technically healthy, only in as much as it's made with an inordinate amount of fruits. It is a fruit slurry.
I hate it when the delivery is just like, oh, just caught you. And it's like, no, you're interrupting me. Like, thank you, I guess, because you're giving me the package to be delivered. However, the answer you're looking for is just like, oh, sorry to interrupt. Here's your package. I don't know. Am I the asshole? What even is this? It looks exciting. I'm going to open it. I'm going to make a lot of rustling into the camera.
Oh, it's a mouse mat.
Yes, it's AliExpress.
The entirety of it.
Yeah, AliExpress mouse mats. God, I got 4 of these. Okay, sure. I think it's been a while, but every now and then someone comes in and they're like, I want a small mouse mat kind of thing. So I'm just like, okay, there's some small mouse mats. So
I disagree with the description.
What does it say?
Extra, extra large desk mat, black and white.
The sales listing has like 10 sizes on it.
Extra, extra large.
That's not the extra large one.
I mean, I understand Asian sizing, but good lord.
Those are the extra large ones. Although they're not that big, I guess, but still. Okay, right, mouse mats. What else have we got in here? Oh no. Yeah, okay.
What?
I've just remembered what else is in here, and I'm like, oh god, I'd forgotten that laptop was here. But because it was waiting on parts. Let's do this first. What's this going to be? But wait, there's more. It's a bag in a bag. This is the thing about ordering stuff from AliExpress, is the way that choice shipping works is the factory in China ships to AliExpress, who then repackages it and then ships to the customer. That's how choice shipping works. So things get packaged and then packaged again. So it's just bags within bags within bags.
Await you.
Okay, is that the same? Oh, okay, I think these are power button widgets. Yes. Right, are these any good? These were too expensive for what they are, but it was one of those things where I'm just like, I feel like this should be cheaper for what it is, but also sometimes for a niche tool, you're willing to just pay. Yes, okay, that's cool. I'm going to bench cam us. Yes. This ended up being like, £7 or something like that. But you know my widget that's got the power buttons on it, you plug it directly into the front panel header and it's got power button reset and some LEDs on it. This is an official one. So yeah, because I mentioned that my one was wearing out and I wanted a better solution, and someone in one of the YouTube repair discords I'm in was just like, hey, here's some on AliExpress. And yeah, and when I actually got to buying it, I was like, that's way too expensive for what it is. However, also though, it's not jank like my one is. So yeah, whatever, I'll buy a couple of those. So yeah. Okay, right. Going through the chat. Mic is fixed, good.
Oh, that would kind of be a good integration for it to have a speaker on it as well.
Yes. Yeah, the problem is that the beep speaker pinout is in different locations on every motherboard. The front panel for like power button and LEDs and stuff, that's basically all but standard, but the beep speaker, that can and is in multiple locations. So that's just not viable, unfortunately. So yeah, affiliate URL. Sure, yeah, I'll Yeah, I'll quickly post it in chat. Like I said, I don't think this is good value for money, but I bought it because it was like I said, it solves the problem. You've only got to buy it once. There is a couple of things like that where I'm like, this seems, I feel like this was too expensive for what it actually is, but it solves a really handy problem, man. With the other one being the mouse jiggler. My mouse jiggler, which is just this little USB widget, you plug it in and it emulates a mouse and it moves the mouse by 10 pixels to the right every 30 seconds. So it just prevents a computer from going to sleep.
Yeah.
Without changing any settings. You just plug it in and it just jiggles the mouse. I think I paid like £20 for that or something. And like, yeah, that's what I was like. However, I use that all the time.
Yeah.
That was 20 quid well spent, man. You know, so yeah. And like, you can make a DIY one. I've got a DIY one because when I had a conversation about them on like the show at some point, someone sent a DIY one in and it was really cool. And so I've got that one knocking around as well. However, that was a commercial solution I found, and yeah, it's just really cool. Right, I'll just quickly look up the thing I bought just so people who are like, that's cool, I want one, they can...
You just make it really annoying. So it's just constantly sending the input to draw a circle.
Oh, just all the time, yeah. Just unusable mouse, yeah.
You're effectively training yourself to use a mouse by rotating your arm in the opposite direction.
Oh, hideous. Right, let's see, my orders.
It sounds like one of those YouTube channels. You know, videos on the YouTube channels. I bet 15 people $10,000 that they couldn't use this computer.
Get link. Oh, £2.24. Oh, I did find a better price for one, apparently. Just going to check. Yeah. No, it was like £2.30. So yeah, that's better than I thought. I remember the one that the person linked me to ended up being like 7 quid by the time I got to the basket, and I was like, I can't bring myself to pay 7 quid for that, man. And I found a cheaper one. So yeah, I will open. Yes, I can open the chat. I've got it here. There we go. Right. There we go. Everyone, give me your delicious affiliate money. It's. I think it. What's the affiliate for that? It is 3% commission. So whatever 3% of that is, I'll get it.
Yay!
Anyway, yeah. If you want to buy one, there it is. So yeah, I bought 2 of those, so I've got 2 of them kicking around the shop now. So it just because yeah. This, ironically, this doesn't actually solve the problem I had with my own, which is that it didn't fit under a graphics card on a Micro ATX motherboard. But at the very least now, that is a better solution than the one that I had. It's because it's got something you can hold on to. It's easier to plug in and unplug, and just it's less jank, whatever. Anyway, right. Ugh.
Yes.
A bit of VB script to toggle the numlock every 60 seconds. Yeah, but what's going to run that VB script? Like, because this is the thing. So I'll quickly go over this again because I've had this conversation before when I've talked about mouse jigglers. Is everyone's just like, oh, you know, use this program called Caffeinate, or use this app, or use this PowerShell script, or something like that. I'm like, no, you're missing the point. Is that because that's a hardware jiggler, it works anywhere, anytime, as long as the mouse is active. So if you have, for example, macOS in recovery mode. If you've got a Mac that's in recovery mode and you're doing a data transfer in terminal, the Mac will still try and go to sleep, but you're in recovery mode, so you can't change any settings. You can't do anything. So you just plug in the jiggler, you know. And like if you're in Windows setup or you're in OOBE or you can't run a script. That's the thing. It's just like, I don't care how elegant and simple your solution is. It's not as simple as just plugging in a jiggler. It's not as simple as just plugging the widget into the USB port. So yeah, that's the thing. It's just, yeah.
You need a Type-C one now.
Unironically, yeah. There have been a couple of times where I've had to plug that in using a Type-C adapter. So yeah. I should actually, that would actually be a cool project to make, actually. I should do that. I need to get on the blower to hecking JLC PCB and be like, can we collab again? Because then they'll pay me money to do a sponsored video, and I'll design and build a jiggler. And by design and build, I'll have someone else do the code for me.
I wish to be a jiggler in your sponsored video.
But yeah, found in 2 seconds. You know what else takes 2 seconds? Plugging in a USB widget. You know? So yeah, it's about 5 lines. Have you got it memorized? Do you need an internet connection to look it up now? Or will you just know it off by heart? Do you need to copy and paste it? This is like people who tell me it's really easy to make a bolognese sauce from scratch. They're just like, it's so easy. It's just some mushrooms and some garlic and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what else is easier? Opening a jar. And they're like, oh no, but it's so... Jar, open, done. I don't care. That's not easier than opening a jar. It's not as easy as plugging the widget in. So yeah. Right, £7 on eBay for a jiggler. Oh, that's better than the last time I saw one. Are you just seeing Ellie?
Of course, floor lamps. Just like, of course, I memorized this all.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I'm not sure if you're joking or not, floor lamp. Do you actually have a mouse jiggling script memorized? If you said yes, I would believe you. You know. All right. Anyway. Oh yeah. Anyway, so that's what that is. Yes. Right. That is going to be some MOSFETs because I have a
thing that needs MOSFETs.
Yes, I have a thing that needs MOSFETs, and I'm a bit scared of it. It's a laptop. Yeah, these should be. Oh, did I buy enough of these? There's 5 there. Now I've got a horrible feeling I didn't buy enough of them. Oh, I think I needed 4. It's fine. There's a laptop which the person assures me that the MOSFETs on it need to be replaced. It's a known issue on Lenovo GPU laptops with GPUs.
I see.
The MOSFETs get weak, and they're like, because I reproduced the problem, and they tell me if you replace the MOSFETs, that will apparently fix it. I'm like, I'll give it a try for you, you know. So I'm a bit scared of this, but I'm like, sometimes you've got to try it, you know.
I have weak MOSFETs. They
yeah,
need training.
I mean, I don't know. It's plausible. I could believe it, and you know, now and then, I've sort of doubted people on that, and I've done the thing that they said. Apparently, if you do this, it fixes it, and I did the thing, and hey ho, it did fix it. And I'm like, cool, okay then, you know. So yeah. Jigglers start at £4. Oh, okay, yeah. Apparently there is more available and they're cheaper now, which is good.
Yeah, do you know why there's more available?
Why?
Working from home.
Oh, that's kind of funny and horrifying in equal measure.
Because so many companies, if you go inactive, that's a disciplinary. And I'm like, do you know how else I can go inactive? Needing to pee.
Yeah.
Do you know how else I go inactive? Sitting in a meeting and talking.
Yeah.
I'm doing a presentation. I'm now inactive because I'm not jiggling my mouse.
Yeah. Like, I guess it depends on how that's being enforced, but like, I could 100% see a world where that's being enforced using really BS methods. Because like, we all know that there are some bosses out there that are just counting the minutes of labour that they're getting out of their employees, you know. And the moment someone is not, you know, the moment someone takes a break for 5 or 10 minutes, they're like, you could have been doing something in that time. What am I paying you for? And it's just like, okay, is that the game we're playing now, you know? So, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, I don't know, but it would not surprise me in the least.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was like someone was saying about like getting an old optical mouse and just placing it on top of your phone, playing a video. Because it was just an optical mouse.
Oh, it was
because the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, elaborate solution, but sure, that would work, yeah.
Because they were issued optical mice.
Yeah, I have to admit, that's something, like, before I found mouse jigglers, when I was, like, looking for them, at some point I had tried various experiments of seeing if I could like have the mouse hanging off the desk swinging slightly, and if that would be enough for it to pick up some random input now and then. And I never found a setup that worked, but yeah, if I'd thought of that, I probably would have done it. So yeah, that's kind of wacky.
Or just like one of the screen the screen test patterns where it just flashes the colours.
Yeah.
So you've just got loads of contrast, I guess, maybe.
Has this picked up? It is. Right. This laptop needs to do Windows Update.
I mean, it needs to be thrown in a skip from the sounds of it.
Well, the fan needs to be thrown in a skip, but yeah. This is one of those...
The fan that sounds like a hard drive.
Yeah. This is one of those annoying...
I thought you said this was the laptop with the mechanical hard drive.
No, that's another HP. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the one that's got the fan that sounds like a bag of nails.
Okay.
But yeah, despite not being that old, man, I don't know if it's observer bias or what, but I feel like HP fans are just the worst. I feel like I replace far more HP fans than any other brand of laptop.
Aren't they like
anyone else
the number one brand in the UK for laptop sales, though?
Probably. That's why I say observer bias, but like, anyone else who's a repair tech in chat, can anyone else confirm, are HP fans just the worst? I feel like I replace so many more HP fans than anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right, this can carry on doing Windows updates, which are now super fast, because this is the first time you've been back since we've got Gigabit in here now. We've got a fancy new router.
Welcome to 2019.
I know.
We've got
fancy things.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's pretty tasty. I am now starting to think about upgrading all the other network stuff. I moved one of the are they 8 terabyte drives, those Toshibas? No, there was 6. Yeah, that 8 terabyte. Yeah, I moved one of the 8 terabyte drives to the server, and I've set that up as NAS storage. But I'm not using it heavily at the moment because the network is gigabit, so it's limited to 100 megs per second, which is just not actually very fast. Megabytes.
Right. Sorry, I thought you said it was limited to 100 megabit per second. I was like, why, Graham?
Yes.
Why are you doing this?
1 gigabit per second worked out at approximately 100 megabytes per second of file transfer, and that's the speed of a hard drive. So if you're transferring from SSDs, that's just not very fast. It's it's okay if you're not in a hurry, but fine. Either way though, I'm now at the stage where I'm just like, okay, for the first time I actually care about having faster than gigabit networking in the shop. So
10 gig's not that expensive.
Yeah, the new router's got 2.5 gig, and the server has some SFP ports on it, SFP connectors.
Yeah, which will hopefully be 10 gig ones.
Apparently they can do up to 25 gig with the correct adapters.
You need the actual adapters for the card, don't you? Because haven't you got an empty card?
Yes, I've got 2 SFP connectors on there, so I need to buy the modules for them. However, apparently I could get like a 10 gig Ethernet Mellanox module, which would work with the mezzanine board in there for probably about £25 on Amazon. I haven't looked at that yet, but I'm told, and I'm like, 25 quid to get 10 gig on the server. That'd be pretty good. That gets 10 gig into the 2.5 gig switch in the router, and then I might. See, the problem is, it's not, I was talking to my friend on Friday about it, and he was just like, oh, you could get a 10 gig switch for like £100 kind of thing. I'm like, that's pretty cheap, but also I don't really want to spend £100 on a switch. I don't want it that badly, So like, I'm starting to build this out, but I'm currently, I'm trying to build out the network on a budget of no, because it's not something that I actually need, and I don't want to suddenly spend £300 or £400. And well, like I've just bought the router as well, so that was a couple of £100.
Yeah.
I don't want to splash out like £500 on networking equipment that I don't actually need, and I'm currently just doing for learning and fun, So yeah. I hope it's not one of those routers banned in the US. God, what was the deal with that? Because isn't that like just everything router?
That's literally all of them.
Yeah.
Because it's not just made by a non-US company.
Yeah.
It's physically constructed by any component not made in the US.
Yeah. So they implemented that law, and then they immediately had to carve out exceptions for basically everything. Because what they'd done was just banned every router ever.
Yeah.
I didn't read the details about that. I just saw that. I'm like, what? Yeah.
I think you could technically get away with like one Cisco Enterprise option. Technically. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason for HP fans failing all the time is the fan always on feature in BIOS. So even when you turn that off, the cooling solution is so bad. Yeah, although I don't know, that's one of these like, I mean, what's more stress on the fan? Running all the time or having to spool up every couple of minutes? I don't know.
Yeah. You need one of them, that's what you need.
24 port managed 10 gig switch, I see. Oh, and 8 SFP ports, yeah. How much is that?
£1,700.
Okay.
That's the cheap one as well.
Are you blasting terabytes of custom HDD over your network? Yeah, not really at the moment. Most of the backups are still just being done on this PC back here, and I've still got one of the 8 terabyte drives in that one. And like, there's kind of just no reason to move. Like, part of me is just like, oh, I could put that one in the server as well, and then back up everything over the network. And I'm just like, but why though? Why would I not just back up to an internal hard drive and just not have the bottleneck? Or
what you could do is put both of the 8 terabyte ones in there, leave a 4 terabyte drive in there that you back up to, and then every day or so you just drop it over there and just leave it whilst you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
For stuff you care about.
For stuff that I care about mainly, because that's the problem is, like, that would certainly work, but then the question is just like, but why? Why do I need to take it off this PC at all, you know?
Because effectively you only keep 4 terabytes of backup.
Yeah.
And then you just keep the stuff where you're like, oh, this might be a problem job, or oh, this might be a problem backup kind of thing. I'll keep this for longer. You know, just that kind of concept.
Yeah. Pyro Stefan says even 2.5 gig is a big upgrade, and then you can keep the Ethernet. Yeah, that's why I'm probably not going to get the switch yet, and I'm just going to.
Well, you can do 10 gigabit over Ethernet.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the thing. I'm not going to buy the switch. I'm just going to get a 10 gig SFP adapter for the server. So then that's then 2.5 gig into this. That's 10 gig into a 2.5 gig switch, and then if I can get 2.5 gig onto this thing somehow, that then gives me, that's then going to get my theoretical throughput up to approximately 250 megs a second, and that's probably good enough, all things considered. And as said, that's still 2.5 times faster than what I had. Like, by the time you're getting up to sort of 250 or 300 megs a second, that's generally fast enough that you don't super care about the speed at that point. That's good enough unless you're shuffling terabytes of data around, you know. So I purchased 2 TP-Link 10 gig switches on AliExpress for 270 quid a piece. Damn, that wasn't bad. Yeah. Again, they're not super expensive. It's just but you're like, I don't want to spend £270. That's great value for money. Don't get me wrong. It's just the budget is no at the moment. So however, 25 quid for the 10 gig adapter. I'm like, I'll spend 25 quid definitely.
Yeah, and just have that ready.
And like, I need to figure out. Well, actually, let's roll with this thought experiment. This is an old Z390 motherboard. Sorry, Z370 motherboard. So it doesn't have 2.5 gig. It's got gigabit on it. So what could we do to make that faster? You know, would we buy a second-hand 10 gig card? Is probably still annoyingly expensive,
but that's
like 50
basically
quid.
What you'd need to do.
Yeah, is there any point in looking for a 2.5 gig adapter for it?
I don't know, because I've never looked, but my understanding is that
for another 5 quid you can go to 10 gig.
If you're willing to buy second-hand, you know, enterprise surplus, you can buy 10 or 25 gig for the consumer price of 2.5 gig kind of thing. So it's just kind of sometimes it's a case that actually you can buy dramatically faster but second-hand enterprise stuff for much the same money.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to buy second-hand stuff. It's just
So it's just kind of, I don't know.
I think last time I did a cursory glance of 10 gig network card on eBay, I was seeing like, 50 or 60 quid or something like that. And I'm like, okay, that's not a huge amount of money, but also, again, budget is no.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wonder if it'd be technically cheaper to buy a USB-C adapter these days. Just because obviously people with MacBooks give more sale volume.
I mean, let's look at this. Let's look up these options. I don't think that's going to work for this one because it only has a single Type-C port, which I use for the NVMe drives. So I don't want to do. But let's look that up just out of interest. Let's see.
Oh, hold on. What are you?
Yeah, someone said, what Gen PCI Express is it? I mean, probably Gen 3, but does it matter? Because surely, I guess if you're going up to 10 gig, you're going to start caring what PCI Express generation.
Yeah, especially if it's only like a by-2 adapter or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's a piece,
but PCI Gen 3 can do 10 gig though, surely. On I guess if you're down at
if you're like two channel.
Yeah. You can buy a brand new 2.5 gig card for 19 quid. Yeah, see, now you're talking. I'll spend 20 quid on a 2.5 gig card. So yeah.
You can get like the HP InfiniBand stuff for 15 quid apparently.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not bad.
Oh, well, 15 okay, hang on a sec. So what is that? What are we looking at here? That's a PCI Express card. Oh, that's got SFP ports on it though. Do I need adapters for that as well?
You'll need adapters and everything. But it was more just a case of like, you can buy the actual cards for just quid. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that's actually got adapters in it.
35 quid. Yeah.
And you've got 2 ports. Huh. Neat.
Interesting. So yeah, like it feels like overkill, but like, could I buy that and put it in that?
In theory, this is well outside of my operational knowledge.
Yeah.
But like stuff
special
like that.
driver question mark? Yeah. That's it.
That's when it starts becoming the question.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's. What are we looking at? 10 gig NIC. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. There's just cheap ones. Yeah, I feel like that's probably at the moment that's probably the way forward. Because the other thing I've got to consider as well is that because I don't want to buy a 10 gig switch. Well, how much is the cheapest 10 gig switch we can find?
I don't know. I'm just going to go.
Yeah. Because the other problem as well is that the network layout in here. So we've got 2.5 gig at the router. Then there is a Ethernet cable coming through the wall to an 8-port switch in this workshop that then services the computers in this workshop. So that switch would also need to be upgraded for this one to get for this computer to get faster Ethernet, or I have to run another cable to connect this one directly to the router. Now, I'm willing to do that. However, if I can find a really cheap switch, then I will take that into consideration. So yeah, 6-port 10 gig unmanaged switch, 90 quid.
It's 4 2.5 gig. 210.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
But yeah,
well, considering you get 2 10 gig ports, that means that you could have. So that means you've got you've got a 10 gig uplink, and then you've got either a 10 link downlink, or you can have 10 gig to your needs high speed computer. You know, so that's 100% viable still. But yeah.
And the other thing that's quite interesting, or good about this Ugreen one, obviously it's actually got an SFP Plus slot on it. So you can take that out of your SFP Plus card on the router, on the server, and then actually plug it into a standard Ethernet network. But it'd be 2.5.
Yeah.
But just, it's a reasonably cheap way of doing that.
And that's the thing, like for 40 quid, do I just say, okay, well, for 40 quid, that gets me a 2.5 gig switch over there. We've got 2.5 at the router. Do I just say, okay, I'm aiming for 2.5 gig? And then I buy the switch, I buy the SFP adapter for the server, which is maybe 25 quid. We need to look that up. And I buy a 2.5 gig card. So that means I've upgraded from here to the server for sub £100. Which that's at the point where it's just like, okay, that's fine. I'm willing to do that. That's less than £100. So for my budget of no, that's tolerable kind of thing. Because the problem is like, you know, if you end up spending 100 quid on a Switch and then, you know, 50 quid on a second-hand fancy card and stuff like that, before you know it, you spent £200 or £300 going up to 10 gig. But, you know, is £100 to get to 2.5 gig good value for money, you know? Or am I just going to end up throwing it all out within 6 months to go to 10 gig?
Yeah, I was going to say, I just jumped to straight to 10 gig because I was replacing everything anyway. So it's kind of a case where I didn't really look at what was in the middle. Yeah. Because it was just a case of like, also my requirement was I needed an unreasonable amount of PoE power.
Yeah. Sai says move the router. That's not viable because A, the router is just in a really good spot at the moment. That's just the best place to put the router. And B, it's only got 4 ports on it. So so I can't use that as the main. It's not really practical to use that as a main switch because it's just going to fill up in an instant. So I don't really want to do that anyway. So yeah. Yeah, Grizz Redford is saying, look at direct attached copper. What are we talking about here? What is direct attached copper?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But yeah. But you've got like 10 port or 8 port 2.5, 2 port 10 gig SFP for like £53 from insert brand here. But it's just a case of, you know, for the idea of it being £50.
Yeah. Yeah, see that's probably a good route to go down because with the 2 SFP ports, that means that it can be upgraded to, it can effectively be upgraded to 10 gig in the future, can't it?
Yeah.
Or at the very least, I can have a 10 gig attachment into there for the 2 computers which really matter, which is the server plus whatever the backup rig is that's actually doing heavy lifting. Like all of the workstations and stuff don't need 10 gig. Right. 2.5 is fine. It's only going to be like the backup workstation and the server which actually need 10 gig.
I guess the other option would be to, you could do direct attached copper, but move the server under here. So then you can just direct attach copper and a 1.5 meter attachment.
I see, yeah. Again, don't want to move the server.
Yeah, because
it's all in the cupboard.
The server's over there and the computer's here, so it's like 15 meters of cabling.
Yeah.
Which just becomes more complicated.
Yeah, I see what you guys are talking about with direct attached copper now and DAC. That I saw that term come up earlier on. I was like, what the hell did DACs have to do with this? Yeah. But yes, I understand now. And no, because I don't want to move the server or the router. I've just installed all of that into a cupboard.
I didn't realise you'd put it there. I thought it was still behind the sofa.
No, yeah, it's all been relocated to the cupboard now.
Okay.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Let me... Yes, I took a picture. Let me bring up a picture on my phone just because when you guys see that I've put it in a neat little cupboard, you can be like, oh yeah, that's kind of nice and installed there now. So
that's cool.
Yeah, go to bench cam.
Bench cam.
Oh, let me crank the brightness a sec. Oh, we're already cranked, but whatever. There we go. So there's the cupboard. So I've got the router is all mounted up on the wall. That's where the fiber comes in, and so now I've got the server here. And I've got it mounted on a box and stuff, and then I've got a partition thing that I can put across to cover everything up. So like everything is installed in a cupboard where it's out of sight in a specific location. It's all in a nice little cubby hole now. And because it's installed in there, there's no noise. It's all nice and boxed in kind of thing, you know. So like, yeah, that's where I want it to go. I don't want it to be out on the shop floor where I've got a server going next to my ear all day long, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I moved it out from behind the sofa, because even behind the sofa I could hear it from across the room. That much being said, I also improved it by just disconnecting most of the fans inside it because it idles for most of the day. But still. Anyway. Do you have a UPS? No, I have. No, well, that's a lie, actually. I do. I've got that Eaton one that Sai gave to me. I need to get that up and running because I don't feel like I need one, but I've got it kicking around, so I should implement that. Because, like, part of the reason for getting this server and everything is just so I actually get some experience with server hardware. Yeah. That's why I'm doing this. Not because I need it, but because this is just a gap in my experience that I want to fill. I don't need to become an expert on this stuff. I just want to have half a clue what I'm talking about. Like, I've been aware that SFP connectors are a thing for a long time. I know what they are, but like, I've never, like, until recently, I've never actually seen one. I've never never held one of the connectors in my hand and been like, ah, yeah, cool. Like, obviously I know what it is. I know what you know, you buy the adapter, you slot it in, and it adapts to either optical or Ethernet and stuff like that. But there's a big, in my brain, there's a big difference between having read things online and actually having held it and looked at it and done it with your hands.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a keyboard warrior and someone who's actually done this before.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important distinction. It's why I get annoyed with people who recommend things and speak authoritatively while never having actually done it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I do not take you seriously unless you've actually done this. That I value actual experience.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to do all this stuff. Not because I need it, but I want to get that hands-on experience so I can be like, yeah, that's how this works, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes.
I guess the other option is just to not upgrade this computer, wait until it fails, and your new motherboard will have 10 gigabit.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's a case of, how old is this machine anyway? It's
8th
6th gen. Oh, it's 8th gen.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, that will get replaced at some point.
Maybe. Yeah.
And if the budget is no, save the budget. Don't spend it.
I mean, basically any motherboard you buy is going to have at least 2.5 gig on it, which again, I'd settle for 2.5
yeah,
gig.
But that's what I'm saying, because by the time you replace that, you'll then, 5 gig will have become the standard, hopefully.
Yeah.
If we actually standardize that, but it'll probably be 10. So yeah.
Motherboards with 10 gig are expensive. Not necessarily. There are a couple of oddball ones out there. There are a couple of oddball mid-rangers where they've got 10 gig on them and they're like, oh, all right, fair enough. Like, I think I've seen B850 motherboards with 10 gig that are like, £150 or something like that. It's not the cheapest one, but like, it wouldn't surprise me if there's like a B850 Strix that's like £170 and has 10 gig or something,
The cheapest AM5 at the moment is 305 on the Tai Chi Creator.
Yeah.
But it's also a case of, it's a high-end board anyway.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't class that as cheap, so yeah.
No. But it's also just, hello, would you like all of the everything kind of boards? So yeah.
Oh, weirdly, it's got 5 gig. Do you want to go back and just roll and just change these search parameters to 5 gig or better?
Yeah. Because that search was just any combination involving 10.
Yeah, so like, narrow it down to single 5 gig as well. Because I didn't know that 5 gig was a thing. That's very strange to me, but yeah.
It, I think, is now.
Yeah, see, here we go. There's B850s for 140 quid.
Yeah.
Are we still on desktop capture, just out of interest?
No, I swapped off.
Yeah, just so people can see what we're looking at,
Oops. No! That one!
There we go.
I'll eventually remember.
So
13th time is the charm.
Yeah, there you go. So here's £140 B850 motherboard with 5 gig Ethernet on it. Like, that's fine. That you're pushing 500 megs a second through that. Yeah. Like,
all of your
500 megs a second is fine, man. That's fine.
Yeah. All of your I/O has gone into the 5 gig port.
Oh god. Yeah, I just looked at it. Oh no. Yeah, has that got Wi-Fi 7 on it as well, or is that Wi-Fi 6?
It has Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah, Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, just, would you like networking on your motherboard? Because that's all you're getting on this. Oh god, oh no, yeah. Some motherboard I/O designs, man, just why?
It's also it's the thing that absolutely blows my mind is the USB-C is a 10 gig USB-C when there is a dedicated connector from the CPU to the Type-C to give you 40 gigabit USB 4 on the AM5 CPU.
Yeah.
So they're not using the dedicated linkage.
Yeah, I think they deliberately don't do that in order to upsell the X8 the X870 though, right? Or X850, whatever.
I don't know, but it's just the fact that it's just like, but it's there. AMD did that, so did Intel.
X870, yeah.
So you could have the ports on the board without worrying about expensive components on the board.
Yeah.
Ah! But yes. Also, you wouldn't want an 8th gen CPU with 10 gig, probably. You'd probably sit at 100% CPU utilization almost all of the time.
Wouldn't surprise me, actually. Yeah, like that's the thing. That's a i5 8600K, and yeah, the CPU utilization on that computer does get surprisingly high doing certain things. Where I'm just like, really? Okay. Like, you know, this feels like it shouldn't be a strenuous task, but yeah, actually sometimes shifting data around, yeah, that starts getting stressful. Like that happens when I'm doing like heavy snapshot, and the problem is snapshot does compression as well. So, and like as soon as the CPU is having to do compression or decompression, that's when the CPU can actually start bottlenecking the snapshot operation. That'll be like NVMe to NVMe in snapshot, so it's doing, so at that point you're doing like you're pushing data at like 400 500 megs per second, and you're compressing it into a snapshot file. So yeah, that's the point where that computer will actually top out. But also, again, once I've hit those speeds, I'm like, that's fast enough. I don't need like that's going to complete the operation in less than half an hour, which is fine with me. It takes me half an hour to go get a coffee and sit down and think about my life, you know. So yeah.
Well, I go home and think about your life. But yeah, I'll only, you know, it's kind of that limit will only become a concern when 8 terabyte SSDs are £100.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense, when we've scaled up to a consumer SSD being 8 terabytes in a standard laptop, then you'll be concerned about it only being 500 megs. Yeah. Because now you'll be like, this is kind of slow.
Yeah. Although, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess we're going on a tangent now, but also...
Well, yeah, but it was kind of a case of obviously 100 megabyte hard drive, read-write on a hard drive didn't feel slow when the hard drive was 80 gigs.
Yes.
If the hard drive is now 24 terabytes, you're like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like that interesting thing about like super high capacity SSDs with a SATA interface where like the wear and tear on them is negligible because you can't shift data in and out of the drive fast enough to max the drive, you know? So yeah.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that with when I got Gigabit in here, the first thing I did with it was just like I was like, oh yeah, let's open up Steam and download again really fast, and yeah, the cheap ass SSD in there just went boop, and then the internet download speed went because the SSD just maxed out. I was like, oh, so yeah, because it's got a cheap SSD in it. So
that was the thing I noticed when I first got Gigabit as well, was just the fact of like I suddenly went, oh no, I can sync from one drive to my SSD faster than I can back up to a backup hard drive. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, right. One more thing to look up then. SFP connector on Amazon for 25 quid. Was my mate lying to me? Screwy thing. You have to, if the cursor leaves the search box when you drag, it will unselect, but whatever. So yeah, try SFP Mellanox.
Mellanox. I think that's the right letters.
Oh yeah, they are 25 quid. He wasn't lying. Yeah. So yeah, something that's apparently it needs to be compatible. So that my server has a Mellanox mezzanine card in, and apparently anything that says it's Mellanox compatible should work in it, is what he told me. So yeah, I want 10 gig Ethernet Mellanox.
Oh, I see. And this is that. Yes, and it's giving you an Ethernet port on it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Because that was
bug of fiber. I'm not messing around with fiber.
Yeah, no. But that was the point. I was just thinking. I was just like, have you worked out yet that you're going to need fiber at some point here if you're using these cards?
I can't be asked. I can't be asked with fiber. I know, like, I mean, that much being said, in the future at some point, I'll probably make a fiber, like, if I do get a switch with SFP ports, I'll probably get a fiber connection from the server to that switch or something, just so I can say I have fitted a fiber connection, you know. And, like, yeah.
Yeah, because also it's a case of, like...
you can buy pre-made cards.
You can buy pre-made ones for, like, 15 quid.
And that's probably the sensible thing to do, because otherwise...
Do not attempt.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Do you know the BT man that came and installed your thing?
I watched him do it.
And the amount of time he was like, I fucking hate my life now.
I mean, he was super chill, actually, and, you know, because I was sort of, I think he realised that because I was an IT guy, I would be vaguely interested in what he's doing. He's like, check out my cool box that bonds the two fiber connections together, and it automatically polishes the end and then fuses them together. Here's the little camera showing the ends of the wire and stuff. I'm like, rad, you know. And I think he actually appreciated that I actually understood what he was doing.
He had the upgraded equipment.
Yeah, he had all the cool stuff.
That only rolled out widely reasonably recently.
Yeah.
Previously, they had to do it by eye and by hand.
Or, no, he wasn't doing it by eye and by hand. And I would understand he would be like, I hate my life if he was doing that. Yeah.
Because they had to do that twice for my house, because they found out they did it wrong.
Oh, pain. The pain.
So, yes.
Run a fiber connection from the office. I'd love to, because I can't get fiber at home. When I got gigabit here, I was like, right, time to do my flat now. And I was just like, oh, it's not available there yet. And yeah, I'm just like, oh, I've had a taste of it now, and I need more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. So yeah, I want to buy one of those SFP connectors. Yeah, at some point, I'll get a fiber connection from that to the switch, just so I have been like, I plugged in, like I've bought a pre-made cable and you just plug it in, but there's a fiber link from the server to the switch. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't need it, but it's cool.
Yeah, you know? That's how I linked up the 3 switches in the office. I just connected.
Yeah. Yeg. Cool. Okay, yeah. So that's what I'll do. I'll probably I think I'm going to buy the 2.5 gig switch with some SFP ports on it, because that gives me the upgrade headroom. Because if it's got 2 SFP ports on it, that means that theoretically I can then that means that I can get 10 gig directly into the server, and it means that in the future I could buy a fancy network card for whatever backup rig I'm using and run 10 gig from that as well. So it gives me the upgrade ability. So it means I'm not just going to immediately throw out that switch in 6 months.
What router did you buy?
I bought, I'm just going to remind myself, I bought the GL iNet BE9300. GL iNet. Yes, that one. Yeah, that's what I got.
3.
Yeah, because the GL iNet stuff is really cool. I have one of their little baby travel routers that I've had for a while now, and it was super cool. I was like, I kind of like this. I'm just going to buy the big boy version of it. This seems to be extremely cool, this thing. The interface is extremely baby friendly, but also has a lot of useful stuff. You know, like it's got all the VPN stuff is all built into it. Like I've set up a VPN from here to home, so I can VPN into this network now and things like that, which is and like again, it was so easy to do. Because now there's gigabit here, like I'm starting to ramp up my usage of, I'm starting to ramp up my use of the Proxmox stuff, and I'm starting to tinker with how I'm setting those up, and now I can VPN into here, which means the Proxmox server doesn't have to be, the Proxmox management doesn't have to be exposed to the internet anymore.
Yeah.
I can have it internal only and just VPN into the network. So yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
So yes, this is just basically the big boy version of the travel router. It was really good. The setup on it was super easy, and yeah, I'm really glad I got this. It worked out really well, and also, it's got tri-band Wi-Fi 7 on it, so it just has the Wi-Fi ever, and it's got all the features. So now I'm not I know that it can keep up, basically. So yes.
However, as a comment on that, if for Wi-Fi testing by consumer advocacy brands is anything to go by, there are presently no consumer available Wi-Fi 7 devices that actually do the features they say they do.
Yeah, I haven't done...
Which is just like, thanks guys, so much for standards.
Yeah.
But also, they're still faster than 6E, but just, they don't have all the fancy features.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
I mean, that much being said, like, 6E, like, I mean, even my BT home hub in my flat that is like a Wi-Fi 6 or 6E, I can't remember which, like, the link speed on that is 850 meg.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Over Wi-Fi, that's fine, man. If I actually need the full fat, then I'm going to connect via an Ethernet cable anyway. So, So, yeah. It was about 170, I think it was. So, yeah, it was just under 200 Great British pounds. And again, I thought that was, 187, yeah. So about 200 quid. I thought that was fairly reasonable for a high-end router, short of going into like enterprise gear. That seemed like a good deal to me.
Yeah, certainly also something that actually offers you in-depth configuration without the need to be in-depth configurized.
Yes, it's user-friendly with exotic features kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yes. There are a couple of bits of the interface that were a little bit annoying in terms of just UI design stuff. Like some things where there were some bits where it like the way that all of the wireless SSID configs panned out ended up with me having to type the same thing into multiple boxes but if you start separating
they're all actually separate because they are all actually separate radios.
Yeah, exactly. If you start separating out your bands quite a lot, and I separate and because it's a tri-band, if I actually want to separate everything out, you end up with so many SSIDs. So I went for
technically 4.
Well, even more because I wanted. So I had three bands, and I want.
Oh, I see.
Staff
You've
and
done
public.
that.
Yeah. So I went for a bit of a balance where I did.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't have bothered broadcasting the 6 gig, and I'd have just left the Milo.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. So I separated out some of the exotic ones, like the 6 gig band, because there are certain times where you want to forcibly connect on a certain band to make sure that it's using it, kind of thing. And so I wanted the 6 gig band to be separated out. So if a computer could see the 6 gig band, I knew it actually had a tri-band adapter in it that was functional.
Oh, that's a good point. It's a diagnostic kind of thing.
That's it. Because the multi-band network that will appear to anything.
Yeah, because it should do 2.45 and 6, and whichever is highest throughput will be the one it connects over.
Yeah, so I separated the 6 gig band just so that way, if a computer can see the 6 gig SSID, I know it actually has a proper tri-band adapter in it. So yeah. Yeah, Pyro said, I went with the Ubiquity Dream router. How much would that have been? Because a couple of people, one of my friends said, oh, you should get a Ubiquity. And I was thinking about that. And I have to admit, I didn't look it up, but also I have a suspicion that Ubiquity Dream is probably going to be, I'm guessing £300. That's going to be my guess.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so consumer one's 266, and then the pro-looking versions are like 350 or so.
These are like switches and stuff and other things.
Dream Machine Special Edition.
The problem with the Ubiquity kit, without being an expert in it, is as far as I could tell on the website, they would not confirm what functionality each piece of kit had. Just that you needed to buy 15 items from us for your network to function.
Yeah, that's the other...
And that's my problem with Ubiquity, is nothing confirms explicitly in writing, in a verifiable, I can go back to you and tell and complain because this doesn't do the function you said it would, what function each piece had.
And also, if Ubiquiti explodes tomorrow and all the accounts stop working, what parts of the router still work?
Yeah.
You know, like, because everyone's just like, oh, you know, you just log in with your Ubiquiti account and you've got access to all of your home servers and all the rest of it. I'm like, cool, but what happens if Ubiquiti explodes tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know, does my router become a brick? Or, you know, how much of it can work without using a account and an app? You know? And yeah, that's, and I think the answer to that is a lot. I believe the answer is a lot, if not all of it, can work without an app and an account. However, GLINet, there is no app, there is no account. It's just all managed from the web interface. So I was like, I'm buying that because I don't need to research it. Because I already have one of their travel routers, so I know what to expect. You know?
I think if I was doing a major big install, I would just buy all of the Ubiquiti stuff.
Absolutely.
And just actually work it out.
Yeah, because also it's going to be a turnkey solution. Like, it's going to cost a lot, but you know that it's all going to just work. If I were going to set up a small business tomorrow and they needed a router, Wi-Fi network, and NAS setup, you know, I'd probably be like, if we buy the Ubiquiti, we know it's all just going to work.
And also the fact that the kit's actually of reasonable quality, as opposed to buying expensive stuff that might not actually be reasonable quality. Hello, Asus. Networking equipment.
Yes. People confirm you don't have to have an account. It's optional. It goes to local only and stuff. And yeah, that's kind of what I expected. So they have an app and such, but that's not mandatory. That's just, if you want to use this, it's there and it makes things more convenient. But if you don't have it, you can just set it up manually. So yeah, that's valid.
Would you like a HomePod?
Yeah, I don't like it being like this HomePod thing. This is annoying. Yeah, that much being said, the footprint is probably smaller than the GLINet, that one that I've bought. Like, if you were actually sitting it on a desk, that's taking up less space, I would imagine. Whereas like the GLINet router, it's a chunky boy. It's like that deep kind of thing, you know. It, like, when I took it out of the box, I was like, what the hell, you know. But I wall mounted it, so I didn't really care. So yeah. That's also, so yeah, while my one probably has a bigger footprint, also I can wall mount it. You can't put that on a wall unless you like build a shelf or something, but whatever.
Or just have a bracket on it just points out. It's just some sort of tuber from your wall.
Yeah. And also, someone said earlier on, oh, you can do all of this, you can virtualize all of this on your server and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. And certainly that would be an option, but that's not something that I want to do. I don't want to go into that much detail, basically. That requires me to know what I'm doing. Yeah, like, that might be something that I play with at some point, but yeah, don't want to do that. I would rather have a router, because that's just what I've always known. I'll buy a preset router that is pre-configured. Same with all like the VPN stuff. Like, I can run a VPN server on the server, and like, because I'm running Proxmox, I could probably get a Proxmox script that will do that for me. Like, Proxmox scripts, I discovered those last weekend. They're amazing. You literally type in a command on the Proxmox shell for a script, and it will automatically create and configure a Proxmox VM, download the appropriate stuff for it, configure it, and start it to run the thing that script does. So you could probably buy like an OpenWRT, you can probably get an OpenWRT Proxmox script that will just pre-configure it all for you. And it will have a secure by default setup on it and stuff. So there's no doubt in my mind that works. But for me, in my brain, having a router, and I'm like, that's the router. That's the thing that does the routing. That's the thing that does the VPNing. And it has a web interface where I can configure it. That is easier to handle in my brain. So yeah. So yes. Also, of course, if my server goes down, because the server is a toy, it's a learning device. So yeah, I want a router because I know that that's going to be reliable, and I don't want my business network to depend on this old ass first gen Epic server that I'm kind of just playing with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also just the separate thing as well is obviously because you've got a separate router, you could, in theory, if you needed to, go to PC World, buy a router, replace it same day.
Sure.
Kind of thing. Whereas obviously if you've got that Proxmox set up, it's kind of a case of it becomes more complicated to replace that when you don't have the equipment and so on already set up to kind of have warm failover and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's just, it depends on kind of your scale and what you've got available to you here.
And apparently GLINet does have an app, and I'm like, cool, okay, that's fine. That doesn't surprise me. I did not need that. It did not force that on me. Like, the fact that I didn't even realize kind of says everything to me, you know?
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Ubiquiti requires the app or anything, but there's suddenly a BIOS update, fan noise. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to drag anything about on this or anything. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't virtualize a router. It's doable, but not recommended or best practice. There's probably going to be people who would disagree with you on that, but in any case, it's not something that I need to do. And certainly for my level of expertise in these matters, it's probably a better idea for me to have a pre-configured box. I'll put this somewhere else.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
I picked it up and it was like... It's doing a mantra. Okay, well that's 2 decibels quieter over there. Yes, you can tail scale for VPN and stuff. Yeah, the GLINet stuff does have tail scale. However, that seemed overkill for my requirements. I might set it up
I didn't realise that tail scale would operate like a VPN, so encapsulate all of your network traffic and then send it somewhere and stop it going outside that network as well.
Yeah.
I see. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm told, based on what I saw and what I'm told, tail scale is kind of overkill for my requirements. But I might set it up at some point again just to understand its use case. It doesn't, like, for me, I just need to be my objective is that I'm sitting at my home computer and I want access to the NAS, for example. And apparently just a basic ass WireGuard VPN from my computer to the router, which then gives me access to the internal network. That's kind of all I need. So just using, and again, GLINet stuff, it's got WireGuard all built into it. Like, I didn't know anything about how to set up WireGuard. It was like 2 clicks on that router. It was amazing. I literally said, turn on WireGuard, create user, and it said, and then it spat out a config file, and with a download button. I downloaded that. I downloaded the WireGuard app for Windows from WireGuard, so the open source thing, and it said select your config file. So I selected the config file that the router gave me, and then it worked. I was like, cool.
It's also the other thing that's really nice about Tailscale, about WireGuard, is just the fact it's actually a much faster protocol. Just compared to like OpenVPN and stuff like that. It's actually a high throughput protocol.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, Tailscale sounds cool.
Yeg. WireGuard was broken due to certs the other day. What does this mean?
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, Tailscale is WireGuard under the hood. Yeah, because Tailscale is big. Because the thing is WireGuard is the idea is my understanding of what Tailscale does is that for me, so I'm at home and I VPN to my router, which then gives me access to the local network. However, when you join a Tailscale network, Tailscale is like that, but it's mesh. So you have links to everyone else who is on the Tailscale. So then the server or the office could go offline, and all of your clients and all of your employees are still all connected to each other. That's my understanding of what Tailscale is doing. Everyone who is connected to Tailscale is meshed together, whereas with a VPN, it's a star topology from the VPN server. That's what my understanding of Tailscale was, is that it's mesh instead of star topology.
Fair.
I might be wrong on that. Someone in the chat correct me, but yeah.
Interesting. That's cool though.
That's correct about the mesh. Yeah.
I thought you were about to say it's like Hamachi.
I don't know. I know what Hamachi is used for, but I don't know anything about how it functions. So yeah, and also just I've used Hamachi like one time, and it was the most awful experience of my life. The thing that I needed to do worked, but I was like, this is horrendous. How is it this awful? I don't understand how it's this awful. So yeah. But yeah, at any rate though, but this is why Tailscale was overkill for my use case, because I only have 2 points. I've got I've got the shop and my home.
Yeah.
So like, I don't need a mesh network because there's only 2 points.
Yeah. So I think the other thing as well, the benefit of Tailscale is certainly for certain networks, certain carrier networks.
And start looking at a laptop, like I said I would. Carry on.
Yeah, for certain carrier networks, it means that it actually functions because of the mesh method in the network grade NAT and the carrier grade NAT that your device sits behind. It can cause issues for other VPN technologies, apparently. I'm using some.
Yeah, fair enough. As I say, my WireGuard setup was maxed out the speed of my connection at home at any rate.
Oh yeah, so, it was a case of like. Apparently there are circumstances where VPNs are blocked, but Tailscale will work around that because of the meshing.
Interesting. Yes, I understand. Yeah, it will find another route. Yeah. Right. Okay. So this laptop does turn on and work, but the left-hand port doesn't. The left-hand port does not charge, which is a common failure mode on these Latitude 7420s. So I want to see if I can get it to charge on that port. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I've got that other one. Yeah, no, this is a different one. This is a 7410, and yeah, this one's got a flex crash on it. So this one's going to have a different. Well, does it have a different charge chip in it? Let's find out.
Is it actually the chip itself that's the issue?
Yeah, 99% certain it's the chip. So yeah, I'm going to start taking this apart while we talk.
And what is the chip?
The chip is the power delivery controller. So the chip that negotiates power delivery, basically.
Right. Okay.
Because there's on Dell's implementation here for their Type C ports. They have a Thunderbolt controller chip, and then there is a separate chip that is handling power, and it's the power chip that's gone wrong, because they still function as USB ports. You just can't charge the laptop over them, which is kind of a problem because they charge over, they're Type C charging only. I could sell this laptop as is, because the USB port does work as a USB port, but the annoying thing is that I'm going to get situations where even if I tell the customer, oh yeah, you charge it on the right-hand port, they're going to come back a week later saying it won't charge because they're plugging it into the wrong side.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a recipe for a return. So yeah, I'm going to try and fix that. At the very least, I would have to discount the laptop because it technically has a fault, you know.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. So yes. Tailscale is nice for collecting jellyfin on the go without punching holes in your router. I guess you could implement Tailscale on your phone as well, because like my long-term goals is for the server to be doing jellyfin as well, and for me.
What is jellyfin? Is that just any Plex media?
Yeah, it's basically open source Plex. Is jellyfin open source? It's free at least. So yeah, I want to set up jellyfin on it so I can, and yeah, my goal for that would be to be able to listen to my MP3s that are on that server on my phone while driving in my car, and also like if I go and stay over somewhere, I can watch a movie on my phone from that server. And tail scale would be a good method to be able to connect. If I can have like tail scale connected on my phone all the time, so my phone is just tail scaling through the server kind of thing, that would be cool, because again, that means I've got all of these services running without exposing anything to the internet. So that would be interesting. So yeah, block the broken port. Now the laptop only has one USB port. I mean, yeah, I guess, but not ideal. I mean, it would have two USB ports, because it would have a Type C and a Type A, but I don't know. Or I could fix the laptop.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Do the charging chips exist? Like, in a purchasable fashion?
Maybe. Should probably check in a minute.
I was going to say, do you want to look at what the model...
Yeah, what am I looking at here? This one's the Flex Crash one, I think. So, yeah, let's open up the broken one and actually look at the port that needs to be replaced. So I said it was the left-hand port. This is the one that's on that annoying daughter board. And because I replaced that before at one time and it didn't fix it, and the reason for that is that the chip that is on that board is the Thunderbolt chip, but the charge chip is on the main motherboard.
Oh, they're not both on that. Oh, that's wildly
That's
annoying.
why it didn't work that one time I replaced that board.
Yeah, that's wildly annoying.
Yeah.
Because if you're making a separate daughter board, I can understand having both chips on there.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are likely to get damaged by the customer doing something silly.
Yeah. But for reasons unknown, they put the charge chip on the motherboard instead of on that little daughter board.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's just because the charger chip needs to be adjacent to just power stuff, like, you know, capacitors, inductors, etc., and they just couldn't fit all of that on the board.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you thought about creating a site-to-site IPsec VPN between your home and the shop? What's IPsec, and why would I want to use that instead of WireGuard? Because my understanding...
The WireGuard config that's built into the router. Sorry, just to say, the WireGuard setup you've already got auto-configured in your router. One-click setup, ta-da.
Yeah, that as well, but also, like, my understanding is that WireGuard is currently just the VPN method of choice, you know. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought IPsec was old, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, Android doesn't even support IPsec VPNs anymore.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's that's old. Yep. Yep, WireGuard is the current stuff. The GLINet routers, they have OpenVPN on them, but also because they have WireGuard, I think that's just for legacy purposes.
Yeah.
However, because they also support WireGuard and Tailscale, it's very much a case of like, it has OpenVPN, but like, why aren't you using WireGuard?
Yeah.
It's right there, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And apparently in certain circumstances it can be something like 10 times faster.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Delicious.
Would you like some more performance on your VPN? Oh, why, yes, I would. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly if it's bottlenecked, yeah. I mean, as I say, at the moment, I'm now just bottlenecked by the speed of my home connection, because I initially, a test use case that I did for it was I was transferring some video footage. So I pushed the video footage to the NAS, went home, VPN'd in, and then copied it from the NAS to my home PC as a test. So I was like, cool, now I don't have to remember to bring the SSD with the footage on it home.
Yeah.
Because like routinely I will forget to pick it up when I'm walking out the door, get home and be like, I forgot the footage, you know. Whereas now I could be like, cool, I just remote in and grab the footage.
Yeah.
And to that, you know, I can then take that a step further and just have the YouTube rig just saved directly to the NAS, you know. And so yeah, I did that, and when I was copying that, and the copy speed was let's see, so I've got 70 meg. Oh yeah, that's right. So the copy speed was about 10 megabytes per second.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's like flash drive speeds. But then I'm like, yeah, I've got 70 meg down at home. That's going to clock in at about 10 megabytes per second. So yeah, that's the speed you're going to get. But just seeing that speed in Explorer looks extremely slow.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, once I get fiber at home as well, that'll be a non-issue. But also, though, all of these things,
you'll go up to 110, won't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but all of these things though are fast enough for the things that I actually need to do. It's not going to be practical for copying video around, except in a pinch. What I'll probably do is I'll probably still record directly to the NAS anyway, so if I forget the footage, I can grab it. But yeah, it just means that I have options and I have backups. And like, I think the long-term goal will be to eventually get, 4 or 5 decent sized hard drives in that system, or maybe even just some used but good condition NVMe drives, so it's then actually RAIDing, so it actually has some redundancy in it. Because I don't need it to be backed up, because the worst case scenario is I lose a video shoot and I'm like, fine, whatever, I lost that video, there'll be another video. It's not mission critical, but having some redundancy would be nice. So yeah, but with storage costing what it is at the moment, I'm just like, yeah, no, that's fine. I'll just lob one of the 8 terabyte drives in there.
Drives that still haven't started trending down yet.
No, it's all bad. I keep getting customers coming in wanting to upgrade their storage, and I keep saying to them, we are at a price peak at the moment. Now is the worst possible time to be buying an SSD. Are you sure? And they're like, yep, nope, I definitely want to buy. And I'm like, okay. So, and then I'm like, that'll be £200 for a 2 terabyte SSD. And they're like, yep, okay then. I'm like, okay then. Literally just give it a couple of weeks, give it a month, and this will probably be cheaper. Nope, I want to buy it right now. Okay then.
Yeah.
What about hard drive? Yeah, kind of same. Like, hard drives are cheaper per gigabyte, obviously, but they're still just really expensive, especially considering the fact that like hard drives are basically obsolete at this point. So it's just like, in exchange for them being obsolete, you expect them to be cheap, but they're kind of not.
Yeah.
It's holding me up there.
Madness.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh my God. 4 terabyte average price, like £700.
What, really? Oh, that's NVMe. Yeah. Hard drives are not obsolete. Obsolete is a strong word, but like obviously the speed advantage of SSDs is kind of undeniable. But yeah, because like your hard drives are topping. Well, that much being said, like modern decent hard drives will do 200 megs a second, which is fine. So yeah,
as long as it's sequential.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So
please access these 7 4 kilobyte files.
Yeah. So yeah, I know obsolete is a strong word for hard drives when you're talking about server storage, but you understand my point. It would be nice if we could go to solid state, because solid state is better. So yeah. So yes, like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that hard drives are dead for server storage, but like if you could switch them all over to solid state, would you not want to do that? So
yeah, pound for pound. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were kind of close to this as well. We're like when you were able to buy 2 terabyte SSDs for £100 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that was at the point where like unless you actually needed hundreds of terabytes of storage, that was kind of a no-brainer. Why would you ever buy a hard drive when you can buy 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte SSDs for £200?
Yeah.
Buy a couple of 4 of those kind of thing, and you've got, you're getting into. I mean, obviously, high volume is relative, but whatever. You see where I'm going with this. So yeah. So yeah, it depends on what you need. So yeah. Anyway,
the chip?
I've taken this out. Yeah. So the chip. Am I going to need to go? I'll take a picture of it with my phone.
Yeah.
Right, which one is it? Pretty sure it's that guy there. No, it's not. It's that guy there, I think. All right, it is a 65992S, I think. AI sharpening has mangled the last thing.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is why I just eBay it all.
Yep. Oh yeah. That seems likely for it to be.
Yeah, maybe 65992, I think might be the magic numbers. Yeah.
Because that is a USB-C power delivery bidirectional MUX.
Yeah, that's what I want. So yeah.
I was checking it was the right chip.
I see, yeah.
Because we weren't sure what the chip was.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I was just like, oh yes, I can buy 5 of these.
Yeah, how much is that on eBay? These things do have firmware, but apparently the laptop, either the PCH or the EC, whichever one, will automatically update the firmware on the chip if you replace the chip.
Yeah, yeah. So, Dave Bob was saying about that, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the wrong shape. We're looking for a square.
D.
Yeah.
That's a D.
Yeah.
Oh. 994. What do we search for?
Not sure about that.
992.
992 SAD was the one we wanted, so not.
992 SAD.
Oh yeah, that'll be it. Yeah. SAD. Yeah, SAD is what I've got. So yeah. So that
£14 apparently.
Daylight robbery, but 14 quid to make the laptop fully functional again. I would pay that. So yeah. That's coming from China though. Let's have a look at the AliExpress price.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm going to take apart the other laptop and see if it's got the same chip in it. Because if it has, I will steal it.
AliExpress.com. Ha!
Free gift incoming. Right, I might not have to take the motherboard out of this to find out.
Is that 4 words or 3? That's a very different meaning.
What did I say?
Free gift incoming.
Oh, I see. Very good. Haha. Anyway.
Would you like
Greetings.
Would you like 2 of them for 75p?
Okay, that's the welcome deal though. Like,
I know, but it was just about that's just like, oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
I think this one is using a different chip. I think this one's using a slightly different chip that has a different footprint. Oh, you know what? I need to check if I've got, because I tried to do this at some point on one of these and ended up with the wrong chip, and maybe the wrong chip I got is actually the one that I need for this one.
Yeah, £15 for 5.
£15 for 5. That's more like it. Yeah. I'd get that. So yeah. So yes, no, this one has the wrong chip in it, so I can't steal it from this one. However,
is it a completely different series?
It's another TI chip. However, the physical dimensions of the chip are different. And the way I know that is because at some point I tried to replace one of these and got a smaller chip. And I think the smaller chip I got was actually the one for that one. So I'm now going to go and have a look on my desk to see if that chip is still kicking around.
Is QFN32 a size and shape?
I think so, yeah, because QFN is quad flat pack. It means it's, and 32 means 32 pins. However, I don't know if the pin pitch can be different because you could still have 32 pins on a larger package because the pin pitch is larger. However, I'm going to take a close look at this chip I've got here. And
I'm going to knock everything over.
I'll knock you over in a minute.
Oh, okay. I bought a hard drive from CEX and it didn't work. Quell surprise.
Yeah. I've got a 65988 CE. No, that's not.
That's why it didn't work. It's completely the wrong chip.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it, I don't think. Certainly, I'm not going to risk putting that in, because if I get it wrong, it might blow something up. Yeah. So yeah, okay, right. Okay, right. So next question then is, now I'm going to have a look around the workshop for the other latitudes that I have in pieces, and see if I have something that I can construct. So firstly, I'm going to put the covers back on this one, because this is no good to me now. This goes back to just being a spares repairs in case any of the 7410s come back in. It's also still got an SSD in it. I will steal that.
You don't need storage.
No, you're dead, so... Bang. I should probably unplug the battery before I put this back on.
He says not unplugging the battery.
I'll unplug your battery in a minute. Right.
Only if you have a pentulobular screwdriver. And a tri-wing. And a security Torx.
Good. No cider today. I might in a minute. What's the stream timer on? I really need to make a note of actual time of day instead. 1 hour 42, yeah. Because the problem is, when I look at the time and I see that it's 5:15 where we are, and I'm like, how long have we been going for? I don't know. I can't maths. And like, I could just go be like, well, we started at 4:45. Do some maths. You're a big boy. You can figure this out. But also, if we just look at the stream timer, that just tells me how long we've been running for. So,
okay.
Yeah, I kind of want a cider, but it's a bit late to start a cider. So,
have you got your sippy cup here?
Well, yeah, I could take it home. Yeah.
Just put it in your travel bottle.
Yeah, actually, unironically, that's a good idea. I'm going to make everyone hate me by doing that. People were mortified when I did that last time. I'm going to wash this out. Hold on.
Hey, why'd they be mortified? You're washing it out. It's not like you're putting it in there with squash. Ooh, ah, ooh. Ooh, ow.
You're right.
My leg started cramping.
Can I interest you in a Cranbourne chase?
What's the other crate?
More Cranbourne chase.
Oh, I see. Did someone do a delivery?
Yes. Same person. I have forgotten their name off the top of my head. I think it's written on the side of this box. I think I thanked them at some point. Oh yeah, it was Class Optional was their screen name. Thank you very much again. But yes, would you like more? We've got.
I'll take any of the above.
Cool. All right, we've got a sweet, we've got a dry, we've got lots of the mediums.
Sure.
Might want to just they're a bit dusty, so. Thog me.
All night long.
I knew somebody who had nearly 70 terabytes of data stored across 100 2.5-inch hard drives, mostly 320 and 500 gig drives. Oh, been using them through a dark. Yeah, it's just like, at some point, I think someone was just like, you know, when I said when I showed off the server, you know, the 4U rack with the you know, with the hard drive sleds in front and everything, someone said, "Oh, you should just make a JBOD array of all the hard drives you've got lying around." And I'm like, no, I shouldn't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that guy who has a JBOD of like 10 500 gigabyte hard drives, because that's disgusting, and don't do that, please. I've seen people with gaming rigs with like like 6 hard drives in, and they're all just like 500 gig and 1 terabyte hard drives. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm begging you, please consolidate. Rip all of this junk out and just buy a data drive that stores all of your data, instead of having half a dozen letters in my computer.
You know, the Fractal cases that had the front drive cages where you could fit like 11 hard drives or something. I knew someone who had one of those cases with 11 drives in.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They were all a mixture of like 80, 100,
just trash.
320 gig drives. And I was like, why did you buy this really expensive case
and just
to fit your hard drives in, when you could have not changed your case and bought a single 4 terabyte hard drive?
Yeah. Okay, so riddle me. Oh, okay, yeah. Right, so here's another 7420. And I was about to be like, riddle me this. Why is this one in pieces? However, I can see that the same chip has exploded on this one. So,
boom.
What if? So, is there a second one of those chips on for the right-hand port? The answer to that is yes. It's on the back. So, shall I take? Because this motherboard will work, just again, it will only charge on one side, I would assume. Let's put that to the test, actually. If I just plug this in, it should take some power. However, because that chip has actually exploded, the whole thing might be stone dead, so I'm just going to quickly check that. Is this motherboard... Because if this motherboard is stone dead, then I can just start stealing stuff from it guilt-free. No, that works. Yeah.
Time to order a bunch from AliExpress.
Yeah. What I might do... Yeah, so this is the question. Like, I could steal the chip from this one to put it on the other one and just see if I can make one working one today for the sake of the stream. And then just put 2 new ones on this one. Or I could buy them on AliExpress, but yeah. Yeah, sure, I'll do. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, I can't think of a reason not to do that at this point. I've got the number of chips that needs to be replaced remains the same. So yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Right. I'm going to quickly stick this under the scope and just hot air that chip off, and then hot air it onto the other one. Then we'll put it back together again and see if it works. So yeah, cool. All right, let's do that. Right, I do need to use the bathroom first. So I'm
to the hot air machine. Diddle-a-diddle-a-doo.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So yes, yeah. We've got to get some. Yeah, I need to get like a scope set up and stuff. Oh yeah, no, it's easier to just walk over there.
Just walk over there.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Just walk over.
By the way,
equipment.
I found the other Instalink 2C.
You did it?
Yeah, it was on one of the. It was on the shelf next to the front counter, which is just a place I didn't think of looking. But then I saw it there. I was like, there it is. I was positive that you'd borrowed it at some point.
No.
Yeah, I know. But at any rate, just so you know, I found it. Right, I will go and come back. Waze says, I've used all 4 of SATA ports on my Mobo. You disgust me.
All 4 of them. No. I mean, I use 1. I still have a Blu-ray drive. I forgot what Blu-rays were called for a second there. I still have a Blu-ray drive. I use Blu-ray drive infrequently for watching films that I own on optical media. They can't take that away from me. How's Monaco? Monaco was excellent. It was neither as cold as was foretold, nor as windy as was foretold, but it was definitely as wet as was foretold. And yes, a good time was had by many people. Was there a ruling recently you can record streaming content? I would find that hard to believe. Did you go to Monaco or Montrose? I did not go to Montrose. I don't actually know where Montrose is. To Google. Oh, it's a town in Scotland. No, I did not go to Scotland.
Is Montrose a town in Scotland then?
Yes.
I see, yes. God damn it.
How is this complicated?
Autism. Okay, right, anyway. Good. Right.
Why did you sit down?
To attain peace.
Okay.
Also to enjoy. I'm just going to have a little bit of cider first.
Okay. This is going to be drunk hot airing.
Slightly, maybe. Anyway. Good. All right. Yes. Yeah, let's do that. Right, so I'm going to take this. Right, let's turn stuff on over here.
Before this turns into a rabbit hole,
yeah,
I'm going to say I would like to have left by 7 p.m.
Cool. Right. What does that take us up to on the stream
That's
time?
an hour and a half from now.
An hour and a half from now. Yeah, that takes us past the 3-hour marker. Yeah, that's fine. I don't like going past 3 hours. Yeah. Like,
it's okay. I was just, applying my level of confidence.
Understandable. Yeah. Like, I've said many times before that I kind of always. Part of me kind of preferred this podcast to be. I'm trying to find a place where I'm. Just get out the way. All right. Part of me kind of always wanted this podcast to be more of a 2-hour affair anyway, but then on the other hand, like, I haven't tried enforcing that because we just seem to routinely blow past 2 hours. So, like, if the podcast wants to go for 3 hours, why not let it? 3 hours definitely seems to be the mark, though, where we've run our course. And, like, I feel like once we get to 3 hours, like, we're both out of energy and run out of things to talk about anyway. So, like, from a production standpoint, part of me wants to go closer to 2 hours, but 3 hours seems to work. So, yeah. Like, what are people's opinions on this as well?
Where is the board you're applying the chip to?
I think it's under there. Yes, good.
Okay.
It is. Yep, good. Right.
So I suddenly look at the table, going, "It's vanished."
Am I going to try and plumb Facecam in over here? No, I'll just. Yeah, we'll just do this. We'll do the thing where I connect. I get capture for the microscope, and we just have emotional support Caradog in the corner of the screen.
I'm supportive.
You are. It's true.
That was a statement, not a question.
Right, that comes down over here, and that plugs into here.
Oh, also, have you found a new USB for the capture card?
In. A new USB cable?
Yes.
No, but
to see if that stops it from dicking around.
I have new USB cables, yes. So yes, I had forgotten that. I don't know if I've got a nice long one, but yeah, I have decent USB cables right now. So
fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. Right, you should have microscope.
I have the Windows desktop.
Oh, of course.
I have Facecam.
I have camera. God damn it, what am I trying to do? Right, no, I plugged that into the computer. I can plug it directly into... Can I plug it? Yes, I can plug it directly into the microscope. Let's do that.
Yes.
Anything else is overcomplicated?
Yes.
Oh, I have a feeling the microscope doesn't like this, which is why I did it that way last time. But let's see what happens. How's that?
I have a chip.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and I even almost have focus. I have focus.
I must have faith in my cards. I have faith in my cards.
Yes.
I have cards.
So what is the 118 A3CC G4, etc., etc., on the rest of the chip? Because of the model of the chip effectively was the top line.
Yeah.
So what's all the other stuff?
That will be batch numbers, manufacturing markers, and stuff like that. So
obviously, like date codes and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So yeah, the data sheet for the chip might tell you how to will tell you how to decode that stuff. So like just for funsies, if you try and pull up the data sheet for this, because
will.
Yeah, the TI there is because it's a Texas Instruments, and then we've got the 65992 SAD. Then in TI
65992A. Oh.
SAD. And yeah, as I say, if you pull up the data sheet, that will probably tell us what the rest of the markings mean. Is that? Yep, that's maximum brightness. Okay. Can we have 60 FPS, please?
You lie. I can do a 65994 AD.
It's probably good enough.
Maybe.
Yeah, if you go over to desktop capture, just so we can show people how to look this stuff up. Let's show people how to figure this out. So we've Google searched the data sheet for this. So here's the data sheet for this chip, and so there's the pinout. And if you keep scrolling, oh, this is quite a long data sheet. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, might just have to. If you go up, well, table of contents near the top will probably be more useful.
Yeah.
Failing that, if you literally just start scrolling, you'll probably find it's near the top, to be honest. Revision history, yeah, just keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Pin configuration, keep going. There'll be one where it's just like package sizes and stuff like that. This stuff is normally near the top of a sheet. Blah, 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 blah. Because usually the chip is available in a couple of different packages. Yeah, characteristic curves, chip timings, yeah, how to talk to the chip.
Yes.
Functional block diagram, the basics of what the chip does.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so like unironically, at some point it can be interesting just to look through data sheets because they do tell you how the chip works. That's what the data sheet is for, is to tell you how the thing works. And like the principles of operation and stuff. And then somewhere in here, it will usually have here's what the chip looks like and here's what all the numbers on it mean. We're going to have to keep going. We're halfway through already though, so we'll know it when we see it because it'll have a picture of the chip. So literally just keep scrolling until you see a picture of the chip. Although it might be in a table. This might be a bad example because, oh, here we go. Oh, not quite. That's still examples. Yeah, there's going to be like typical applications of the chip, how you could use it. Here we're getting there. This is how you would mount it, where you should put the capacitors.
Wow, this is a lot more kind of information than I was expecting them to give you.
Yeah, this is why I said it's worth just scrolling through it. This is exactly what I mean, because you'll be like, oh, interesting. Yeah, see, look, this is, if you buy it, this is how you can expect to see it. So here's how big the reel is. Here's what machine it fits in and stuff like that. Here's the box that the reel comes in. See what I mean?
Wow.
Here's how physically big the chip is. This is so because if you're designing a circuit board, you need to know how big the chip is.
Yeah, but like, I half expected them to just be like, lol, work it out.
Yeah, no, it's all in. Like, there are good, like, this is Texas Instruments, so it's all there. Yeah. But, there are some chips where just like, they're like, lol, work it out. But this is TI, so yeah, you get a full fat one. Unfortunately, though, it looks like we haven't got. Somewhere in here, there's probably a table that has a breakdown of what all the numbers mean. I can't find it. Someone else might be able to find it.
Still, that's cool.
But yeah, it's probably in there somewhere. someone in the chat can figure it out if they care.
I just didn't realise there would kind of be like that amount of information just kind of effectively freely available.
Yeah. Like sometimes, like some point, like look up the data sheet for like a 555 timer chip or something like that, and it will tell you how to use a 555 timer chip. This is literally an instruction manual for it. All right, do you want to switch back to microscope? And I will.
I'm on capture.
Cool. Oh yeah, I can see it's changed now. Yeah, groovy. All right, I'm going to take this chip off the board. So yeah, Firephone said, why are these lightning chips going bad? Don't know. Just common failure point, I guess.
But it's interesting that it's the left ones.
Yeah, it's always the left.
Even though it's the same chip between left and right.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's because...
I wonder if they all got docked on the left-hand side and just they all came from the same company and they all used only the left port for power and docking and stuff.
Maybe I'm trying to think. So there's the one that's... See, on this one you can see that the chip has physically exploded.
And just maybe they didn't actually use the right-hand port for power at all.
Yeah.
Oh, the capture's locked up.
Oh, pain. Yeah, okay, you'll just have to keep an eye on that, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one, as you can see, is physically exploded. Yeah, I can't see any reason. Like it's. I was going to say maybe it's too close to something else that's hot, or maybe like I don't know. I don't know why it's always this side that blows up. Maybe this one is the one that gets the most usage because the left port is the one that you're probably going. The left port is clearly the one that's intended to use as the main charge port. The right-hand port doesn't have a charger symbol next to it. It just happens to also be able to charge it.
Oh, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, okay.
They're both identical, but the one on the left actually has the charge symbol next to it saying this is the charging port.
Therefore, average user is going to only use that one for charging.
Exactly. So maybe it's just mileage.
Yeah.
Just this chip just gets an awful lot more mileage put on it. So yeah. Right, let's rip this guy off. So I'm going to smother that in some flux.
Have you changed anything with your camera setup? Microscope setup. Just because it looks better.
It might look a bit better at the moment because we're currently at 60 FPS, and that only happens when I set the microscope to record, and I often forget to do that. So that's probably why it looks a little bit better than usual, because in a lot of the videos I have forgotten to hit record and we're just getting the 30 FPS view. However, sometimes I remember to step it up onto 60 FPS mode because it looks a lot better. But I don't need 60 FPS, but it is nice. It does look better. Right, let's get some appropriate pair of tweezers. Tweezer check. Yep, that'll do. Okay.
$3.95 from AliExpress. Yeah, for a single. Yeah, absolutely. We saw 15 of them for like £5. Or 5 of them for £5, sorry. So it's just a case of, we're probably going to order a set of 5. I mean, based off the eBay prices, Christ, you could buy in a reel of them and sell them off and make the cost back on a reel after selling 2 of them.
Yeah, that's what the eBay sellers are doing. Like, I don't mind paying double the price for a single one from eBay if it's going to arrive in 2 days.
Yeah.
But when I'm paying like £7 for one chip and it's shipping from China, I'm like, okay, why shouldn't I just go to AliExpress now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll pay a premium if I'm going to get it in 2 days.
Yeah.
But if I'm waiting for it to come in from China, I may as well go directly to AliExpress at that point. Yeah. Right, that was nice and painless.
I guess if you wanted to buy a reel, you'd go to Alibaba.
Yeah, that's right. You could probably find reels on AliExpress, but yeah, if you're actually buying in bulk, you should be talking to Alibaba at that point. Right, I shall put that down there and get the other board. Right, so this one, we're going to remove the left port chip, which is this one. That has not visibly exploded. Although, what's going on with that? Hold on, I'm just gonna...
Oh yeah, good. You did remove the non-exploded one.
Yeah.
I didn't see you move the board around. I just saw you go, oh, and you can see this one's clearly exploded, and we're going to remove this. I was like, wait.
What's that?
Bit of solder.
Yeah. Don't know. Let's take the chip off and find out.
Yeah. So is this chip just purely doing effectively the logic of charging, or is it actually carrying power?
It is carrying power because
okay.
yeah, because you'll notice. Oh, I just put my palm in the thermal paste. Rip. All right. You'll notice we've got big fat traces going to here. Like these two pins are going to a single trace. These two pins are going to a single trace. So you can see we've got an in and an out going on here.
And those two pins are enough to do 60 watts.
I guess, yeah. I think it's just because we've got a lot of width. You know, this is the thing, is you look at traces and you'll be like, is that trace really doing like 60 watts of power?
Yeah.
But when you factor in the cross-sectional area, it's very flat, but it's very wide. Versus a wire in a cable, which is thicker but also round. So again, if you factor in cross-sectional area, suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I guess so, you know.
It was more the contact patch for the actual leg bump, effectively.
Yeah.
That was more of the part I was just like, huh.
Yeah, I guess so. Because
I guess also that's a real consideration for 240 watt USB-C.
Yes.
Is actually the port itself, the physical connection on the power pins.
That's why I have,
Oh, shit.
Like,
yeah, no, I hadn't really thought about that, but that's why they doubled the voltage.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
So it brings the current down.
So the current stays at 5 amps.
That's right, yeah, that's how you solve that problem.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, right. Same deal, flux. I put down the flux somewhere. I put it down there. There it is. I've got the flux.
Is this the real flux?
Oh.
240 watt at 5 volts. No, it's not 240 watt at 5 volts.
Oh god, can you run the numbers? What would be the current on that?
That would be 48 amps.
Oh my god. Average 4080 user.
No.
Sorry, 5080 or 5090, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
No. It's very much at 40 volts.
Yeah. Okay, so having removed that chip, can't see any signs of distress on it. Let's take a close.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, I like signs of distress because it confirms that it was dead. You know, it tells you that you were, you know. Yeah. It's kind of nice when you take a component off and you see a crack or a hole in it. Because you're like, yeah, there's your problem, you know. But yeah, I know from logic that this must be it. But yeah, whatever that tiny bit of silver we saw is gone. But it might have just been a little solder ball where the chip has overheated at some point. That's not uncommon. Right, okay, that's the chip I just took off. I have already lost the other chip. Like, I actually have no memory on what I did with it. I'm not joking.
So the one you've just taken off?
Right, the one I've just taken off is here. It's in my hand. I put it there to the side of the mouse mat where my tweezers are. The first chip that I took off the first board, did I carry it over here and put it down? No, I brought the motherboard over here.
It's on your hand.
It's on my hand. I'm not drunk yet, like not even slightly. This is just streamer brain.
You have in fact attached it to your hand.
Okay, right, next problem. I didn't pay attention to what way round the chip went. So we've got a little white square there that indicates pin 1. So this guy should have a dot on it that indicates pin 1. So that should go that way round.
It went.
Are you checking the VOD?
Yeah, it went that way round.
Yeah, cool. Good. Right, I'm going to run some leaded solder over those just to make my life a little bit easier. It should just make it a little bit easier to reflow the new chip. Oh, I think the SD card on the SD card on the scope is full, so I need to erase it so I can carry on recording now. It's very annoying. The annoying thing about this scope is you can't, like I said, it won't do 60 FPS unless you're recording.
You know what you need? You need one of those fake Chinese 4 terabyte SD cards.
That's a great idea, unironically. Okay, menu. Oh, does the menu appear on the stream? No, it doesn't. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Cool. Right. Let's start recording again. Cool. Right. What am I at? 380. That should be enough. I'm just going to go blah over all of that and try not to knock everything off around the sides. Although, I'm looking around and most of these pads are empty, and I'm like, is that because I knocked all of them off? Right, let's try and pick off some of that solder now. I think I missed half of those pads, but there was an attempt. Right, I'm going to pull up a little bit of that solder because there's too much. Wick. Oh, I don't have enough heat for that. That'll do. Okay, that should do. That looks a bit rough, actually. Oh, my life. Okay, more flux and then I'll try that again. I put on too much solder and none of it went to the places I wanted. This is why I hate ground pads, because all of the solder just goes directly onto the ground pad. Come on, help me out here, motherboard. Work with me here. I think I'm just going to solder this thing down and then just run the iron around the edges anyway. Because I'm going to have to do that anyway, so yeah, that'll do. Fine. Sod it. I'll clean up the burnt flux, put some fresh stuff down, and we'll just get on with it. Boop, boop.
I guess technically you can use the same solder over and over and over and over. It's just the flux amount would change. So if you were adding flux, you could, because you're not chemically changing the solder.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the solder is still going to oxidize, so you'll get like slag, but a lot of the time that comes off on the iron.
Yeah.
It comes out in like the burnt flux and stuff like that. So yesn't, you can reuse the solder to a large extent, but it does still wear out though. Right, chip. Ugh. Cool. Right. Le flux. Cartoon splat noise. Cool. I don't think there's enough solder under this thing, so I think I don't think we're going to get a very good job here. But as long as we just stick the chip down, we can make good on that in a moment. Going to hold it roughly in place while we get things going.
I'm sorry, what? Bad solder is going to emit alpha particles, giving you CPU cache bit flips. Excuse me? Would you like to explain your mechanism?
Photons from God. There you go. Look at that dance. Can you see the chip wiggling?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's funny seeing all the other pads just kind of go.
It's very satisfying, isn't it? Okay, right, that's soldered down. Now we just need to fix all the pads. So theoretically, I can just run this around the edges now.
I'm sorry. Oh, you weren't joking. I thought you were joking.
Oh, no.
Oh!
I mean, maybe, like, everything is radioactive. Bananas are radioactive. Is that what we're going with here? Suffice to say, I'm not concerned about getting acute radiation poisoning from this motherboard right now.
That's the wrong one.
I'm really bad at this part, just making sure I get nice blobs on all the legs.
You can unlock Bill Clinton in a Tamagotchi. What?
What are we talking about? I can see you've got a website open, Caradog. I'm concerned. Are you okay? Is it beaming things into your mind? A little bit too hot. Yeah, I think you might be right. Let's clean that up and see what it looks like.
Oh no.
I'm not an artisan.
Oh no.
If it's on, it's good enough. I think that's going to need a second pass. Okay, lay it on me. Are you actually just going down a rabbit hole right now, Caradog? Do I need to send you a rescue robe?
Sorry, I suddenly had the whole So, cards on the table. I think the idea of putting data centers in space isn't a particularly good idea.
Okay.
Okay. Then the statement was time dilation, and I immediately went, oh no. Because the data center in space will be moving faster than the data center on Earth.
Oh my god.
And as they said,
that's...
a GPS Block 3 CPU runs an extra approximately 7,000 clock cycles per day compared to the same machine on Earth.
Yeah, I'm going to give that another pass.
Extend to the extreme and you get a whole subfield of computer science and physics called relativistic hypercomputation. And I'm like, oh no.
I'm going cross-eyed.
But then anyway, the point they were saying is about how to kill a supercomputer. Accidentally using radioactive solder is a good way. IBM's Blue Gene /L frequently crashed when running simulations at LLNL. Turned out to be alpha particles from the lead solder in the board carrier were slamming the L1 cache with bit flips.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so as with all conspiracy theories, there's an element of truth in this. However, it is not literally going to give me cancer.
No. But the statement was about bit flipping cache.
Okay, yeah. Yes.
And
I didn't read the original message, so yeah. Okay, cool.
Oh.
So actually, so OP in chat wasn't actually coming up with a conspiracy theory. He was actually saying, hey, by the way, leaded solder is actually faintly radioactive and can cause problems.
Yeah.
Which actually is super interesting.
I thought they were making a joke after I was just like reusing solder.
Yes. Understood.
Oh, that's wild.
Yep. OP, we owe you an apology. That's very interesting. There we go. That's more like it. Whoops, that's too much solder.
That's nutty. I love that.
That's better. That's more like it.
God. The fix was brutal. IBM recommending scientists reprogram critical workloads to write-through mode. So basically you lose caching because you're writing everything from L1 all the way through to every level of cache.
That's devastating.
Yeah, if L1 got corrupted, the kernel would invalidate the whole cache line and force a refill from slower pools. It works, but had a massive performance hit, as much as 30%. Whack.
All right, that's good enough for Australia. See if it works.
Yeah.
Right, I'm coming back. Okay, right, this is all dead.
And if it wasn't, it is now.
Yeah, well, I'll probably buy those ones that we saw, that 5-pack of whatever, because then I can put 2 new ones on this one, and then theoretically this can be reassembled into a working laptop. Although I have a suspicion, no, surely I did not put a broken keyboard back into this pile, because at some point I changed the keyboard out. Surely I would have thrown the broken keyboard in the bin. I'll find out when I put this one back together again, I guess. But yeah, if I buy some new chips, I can put new chips on this one, and then this laptop can be reassembled into a working laptop.
Yeah.
And then I'll have another laptop to sell.
Yes.
In the meantime, let's put this in and see if it works. So I might be able to tell just by plugging in the daughter board. So let's put that to the test. Take this out from here.
Oh, it was the left port on the daughter port. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, right. So firstly, can we have a bench cam?
Bench cam.
Oh, going for a ride. Whee! That's my my dolly move or whatever.
Dun dun.
What spec is the laptop?
Dun dun.
This is a Latitude 7420. These are 11th gen i5s. I think they're 11th.
That's what you said.
Yeah, 10th or 11th. I think they're 10th. Yeah, they're 10th or 11th gen i5s. These are good modern workhorse laptops. Absolutely worth saving. These are the ones that I like to sell in my shop.
This is the 20, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, they're 11th
correct.
gen.
Yeah. Right, so this was the original known good port. So when I plug this in, I should get power delivery indicator here. So we've got
I pushed this button.
wattage and then power delivery. So it's negotiated power delivery. So this port was already working. So the board still works. We didn't kill the board. Good.
Oh, I see. Yes, because it can't do the PD negotiation.
If the chip doesn't work, because the chip is what is doing the negotiation. So now I'll put this on. This is the left-hand port. This is the one that doesn't work. So now I put this on and try this one. And if this one negotiates power delivery, it means that I win.
They're all soldered RAM, aren't they?
Yes, they are. That's one of the disadvantages of these things. It's soldered RAM, but beggars can't be choosers these days, unfortunately. These are still some of the best reconditioned laptops you can buy.
It was just a case, so I couldn't remember if it was this one or the next one they swapped out.
Yeah, look at that. Power delivery.
Hey!
It's working! It's working!
Just that mixed with the opening scene from T2.
What's the opening scene from T2 again?
Where they nuke the park.
Oh, yeah.
It's working!
Right, I'm going to put this laptop back together again, and I win. And
I haven't watched Terminator 1, I think, actually ever.
I think I've only seen it like once. If my memory serves me, it's not that good. It's kind of just a product of its time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's one of those ones where like Terminator 2 is just strictly a better movie.
Yeah.
But also Terminator 2 is just Terminator 2 stands out as just one of the movies of all time kind of thing. It is just like this might be a perfect action movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't think anything about... like, someone else in the chat confirmed this, but if my memory serves me, like, T2 stands up as just like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this movie. Like, the special effects in it are still really good. The writing is great. The story is great. It's just really good. It's been a hot minute since I've watched it as well.
I can't remember who the actor is for the T1000. But I just remember watching a behind-the-scenes interview where I can't remember what they'd done before, like acting or something, but like they were a really good runner. Like, really
interesting.
Good.
Okay, yeah.
And they, the chase scene on the motorbike?
Yeah.
He was too fast. He kept catching the motorbike. No, and they kept having to go to him, I'm sorry, but you need to run slower.
Yeah, because obviously in action scenes, the action is actually extremely slow when they're filming it. When they do when they're doing a motorway chase scene, they're doing like 20 miles an hour tops. They could just fall off and just sit down,
Yeah. But yes, apparently they had to keep telling him to...
Why did I come over here? Tweezers, that's what I wanted, yeah.
And it was like, please act like you're running, but not like you're trying hard, because you're a robot, but also please do it more slowly.
Yeah, he's just really good as well. He makes a really good Terminator because like, he's genuinely scary. Like, Arnie as a Terminator in like T1 wasn't really that scary because it was the 80s and he was just hench as heck. He was just like, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's just Arnie. Whereas, Robert Patrick as the T-1000 was extremely intimidating.
Yeah.
And like this is why it was written so well as well. It's also just because his cover is a police officer, which also just makes it very intimidating because it's a figure of authority that, a rogue authority figure always comes across as more intimidating because it's just like you can't go to the authorities because he is the authority, and that's why it's just such a well-made character, and he's just got that 1,000-yard stare, man. T2 is just. I've got to watch that movie again some point. Yeah, extremely good movie. Yeah, and just like the fact that it's just like basically nothing could stop them, kind of thing. Yeah. Also just has one of my favourite lines ever that I quote a lot, where near the end of the movie where they're trying to escape and they've got this stupid van, like the gardener's van or something, that tops out at like maximum they're going as fast as they can away from the truck, and Arnie is just like, this is the vehicle's top speed, and the kid, I forget his name, he goes, what? I could get out and run faster than this. And I think about that line a lot, Bad to the bone, yeah. Yeah, of course, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. It's very good. Yeah, I guess I'll put some new thermal paste on this as a treat. Oh, let's tell this to stop recording, just so I don't have to format the SD card again, I guess. Loop. Cartoon splat noise. I feel like I'm missing half of this. I've got to put some screws in the motherboard. I think that's what I'm missing.
And also you'll need an SSD, but...
Yeah. I've got the one that I took out. That should have a Windows install on it. Because all of these, as soon as they come in, I take them out the box, I take them apart, and I do the thermal paste and re-image the SSD. So that SSD just should have a generic Windows install on it.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching a bunch of the Marvel movies this week because I've been binge watching a podcast called Detailed Diatribe.
Oh, right.
It's a podcast that does just various pop culture stuff. And Detailed Diatribe is basically just it's a podcast where they just talk about just stuff they like, that is media that they like, that is exceptionally well done, typically movies or anime and stuff like that. They've got a bunch of episodes that cover a couple of the MCU movies. Because it's very trendy to shit on the MCU as just entertainment. Slop is a strong word, but mindless entertainment.
I certainly feel like they trended in that direction.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and
also kind of it became slightly difficult to actually have the bad guys be bad guys, because it was then kind of a case of, why is this person a bad guy? Because they sell weapons. Unlike Iron Man, who's a good guy for selling weapons.
Well, he stopped selling weapons.
Yeah, but it was just kind of a case. It was just a couple of points. It was just like, oh.
Yeah. Exactly. It's very trendy to hate on MCU, certainly late stage MCU, for being a bit mindless entertainment. But watching some of these Detailed Diatribe videos, they did a couple. The one that really caught my attention, that made me start rewatching some of the movies, was they did one on the Winter Soldier, when you go back
is that the second
Captain America
film? Yeah.
And when you go back and watch Winter Soldier, this Detailed Diatribe episode, they talk about it and they're like, this is actually, in our opinion, the best Marvel MCU movie.
Oh.
Or at the very least, it's up in the top tier ones. It's an S tier one, So let's not say the best, but let's call it S tier, because it has just really strong themes. It knows what it's doing. It has big consequences. All the characters have arcs, and every main character has motivations, an arc, and is changed by the end of the story, which are big points to hit on. And it made me want to go back and rewatch it and be like, wow, yeah, actually this was a really good one, and same goes for Doctor Strange, which is one of the oft forgotten ones, because Doctor Strange is a really interesting one, because it's a movie not about a good guy discovering his powers, but an asshole. Because Doctor Strange is a proper capital D dickhead for most of the movie. He's a very unlikable person, and it's about how he learns to stop being such a selfish prick. And that is kind of the payoff, is him learning that it's not about him. And it's got some scenes that are really, really good, including when the Ancient... And don't get me wrong, it's not flawless, because this is the one where you have the Ancient One, who is the bald white lady, who is also the head of this, Tibetan monastery, and it's just like, oh, fancy that. It's a white Western lady kind of thing with a British accent, which is problematic in multiple senses, but it doesn't matter. However, she has a couple of scenes where her character motivations and stuff are just incredibly powerful. And again, I rewatched Doctor Strange yesterday. And again, it's just it's actually just a really good movie, watching Doctor Strange go through his character arc of, all of his advancements, all of his learning his powers. It's all selfish, and for him trying to fix himself up until the end, where he's just like, it's not about me. It's about protecting other people, and that kind of thing. And just again, it's one of those ones where it's just this has actually got a really good message, and it's actually really well done. So yeah. So yes, I've been rewatching some of the MCU movies, and this made me happy, because I like that there's actually good material in the MCU, despite the fact that a lot of the movies are not great and arguably just straight up problematic. But it's good to know that it's nice to discover that there are good parts in a lot of those movies where, while the movie itself is less than perfect, it's nice to listen to people talk about the good parts of it and be like, yeah, the whole picture wasn't ideal, but there were some really good bits in this that's worth rewatching, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, the first Iron Man film will always be
really good. Yeah.
A difficult one to talk about in kind of ranking it compared to other stuff, just because there's so much emotional baggage with that film.
Yeah.
So, like, to be objective about it is really difficult.
Yeah. There's a lot of it's also a very sort of by the numbers movie when you look at it from and like that's one of the other problems is that a lot of these movies, although they've got some really good bits in, but also they're extremely formulaic. But that's sometimes you have to look at something and be like, it's okay to be formulaic, you know. It's okay to do something by the book. You know, there's a reason why you make a cake by a recipe, because the recipe is proven to work, you know, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
It's not my beard.
Iron Man 2. I rewatched Iron Man 3 the other day as well, because that was one that I remember not liking very much.
Who was the big bad in 3?
That's the problem with it. The fact that you don't remember kind of tells us everything about it.
Also the fact of I watched it on release and that was it.
It was the Mandarin.
Okay.
So it had the bit where the initial guy who you see on TV and is just like, I'm the Mandarin and I'm going to punish all of you. It turns out he's actually a paid actor.
Yeah.
And another villain is actually the Mandarin, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. But also
I haven't seen that film since theatrical release.
Yeah. Also though, just like his motivations and his objectives and the way he does things are also just kind of just bollocks and extremely like, what was your plan here, dude? This is just a bad idea through and through, you know. So yeah, but also there are parts of I think Tony Stark's emotional character arc in that movie was still legitimate and interesting. So like this is
that film like.
This is why I find these
14 years old now.
Yeah, this is why I find these movies. That's why I wanted to bring this up. Is I think these movies are interesting to talk about because while there's bits of them that are just objectively terrible, there's good things in there that I enjoyed rewatching. So yeah. The tangerine.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, the film is 13 years old now.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I like that.
Yeah. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
We're talking about other things now. So anyway.
How close am I to finishing this laptop? I've got 3 screws here, that 2 of them go there, and I haven't put any back in the motherboard, so that must be where some of them come from. I think the motherboard only actually has... Oh, it should have 2 screws in. I'm missing a screw. That's fine, it doesn't need all of them. That'll do.
What are those two silver?
Those two are for the SSD. So
what are the 3 black ones over there?
I don't know. They're over there now.
I see.
Right, let's put an SSD in as a treat and see if this thing actually works. And yeah. Yes. I like talking about media sometimes. I like talking about... It's nice to talk about things that you enjoy. This is why I've enjoyed watching Detailed Diatribe. It's been very relieving. Like, I have to admit, I've got a guilty pleasure for watching video essays about bad media because I think it's very useful to analyze bad things and talk about why they're bad so we can learn from the mistakes that they made. Because
certainly stuff is written from the perspective of how do we do better.
Yes, because
not let's shit on this.
That's right. Because there's many times where I've watched video essays about bad media, and I've listened, and the person has said this is bad because of X, Y, Z, and I'm just like, oh, I've definitely done that in my writing at some point. I should go back and revise that. This is something that I need to think about, you know. So yeah. However, it's been relieving to... people like to watch criticism. and watch someone just clown. They like to watch an expert clown on something that's bad. But it's been very relieving and uplifting to watch a podcast about something that's actually good and have someone gush about and say, this is really good and here's why it's really good. You know, and yeah. Because also, like, again, one of the Detailed Diatribe episodes I watched talked about The Last Unicorn, both the movie and the book collectively.
I don't even know what that is.
The Last Unicorn is a book by Peter S. Beagle. It's a famous fantasy book, and Peter S. Beagle is a notable writer because he was involved in the rewrites for some of the adaptations of Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a notable fantasy writer from that kind of space.
Sorry, I got stuck thinking about Butt Stallion.
No. And The Last Unicorn is a book that I read a long time ago and I didn't get it. I understood the first half, but the second half was completely incomprehensible to me. And this is as someone who I grew up doing a lot of reading as a kid. So if a book is incomprehensible to me, then there's something that's gone wrong, you know. However, after watching this Detailed Diatribe, I was like, oh, I get it. I should go reread that. And now I understand what it was trying to say. I understand so much more of that now. And there's a lot of really interesting bits of it that are really fun. And I'm just like, oh, that's clever. Now I understand it. I want to rewatch that now, you know.
Fair.
So yes. That's it. I've been rambling. Yeah. I like to, yes. As I say, point is, I've been enjoying watching things about interesting things and watching people talk about things they like and are interested in.
Yes.
Food Fight is absolutely horrific. Someone bought me Food Fight on DVD as a joke present once. I have not watched it. I was just like, ha, very funny. I put it on the shelf. I don't even know what it's about. All I know is it's terrible. What's the difference between lords and sirs? Well, a sir is a knight, so it's someone who has received a knighthood, and a lord is someone who is just a member of the House of Lords, isn't it? To be a lord in the UK.
Basically they will own a hereditary title.
Yeah, and the House of Lords are typically hereditary. So yes, which obviously should raise a large number of alarm bells, considering part of our government is built up of people who are in positions of power for hereditary reasons.
No. We need to make sure that the right people remain in those positions.
Who did I watch who did a really interesting video about that, actually? I think it was, what's his name? Nicholas... Gosh dang it. Can't remember now. There's a YouTuber who's Nicholas somebody who does videos about politics and stuff like that. And he did a really interesting video where he interviewed a bunch of the current lords and was just like, who are the lords? You know? Yeah. And it was explained, and you know why they're in positions of power and what's being done about that and what the motivation behind it is, because there are some of the House of Lords are actually in positions where they're like, yeah, we're trying to move to a position to I'm not going to say abolish the House of Lords, but to what's the term I'm looking for, where you reorganize or recreate or reform, yeah, to reform the House of Lords, because it is just objectively not very good for a democracy that a major part of the government are in positions of power because of hereditary reasons. They were not appointed. They were not. They were neither voted for nor appointed. They were born into that position.
Could be worse.
Could it?
Yes.
What's worse?
They could be in that position because they donated to the Tory party.
Yeah, because now it's corruption as well. Nepotism and such as well, no doubt. Okay, this is the right-hand port. This one already worked. Cool. that is charging the battery. We are pulling 18 watts of power, 20 watts of power. The laptop is turning on. I'm going to let the power...
Yes, Tom Nicholas.
Tom Nicholas, that's the one,
Yeah.
I'm going to let the laptop turn on and post just because the battery might be flat, so I'm just going to let it sort itself out. Yeah, I've gone into chatty mode because I've had just enough alcohol to shift into the talk a lot mode. It's good. This is the position I want to be in with alcohol, where I've had just enough that I can just keep on talking, you know. Nigel Tufnell from Spinal Tap is a hereditary peer formerly. I would believe that. It would not surprise me.
What do you mean some are? That's the issue. Yes, that's my point. That's literally the point I'm making.
I was like, what is it doing? But I just saw the Dell logo, so we're getting somewhere. It's going to power cycle like another 2 times, I think. Time of day not set. Okay, let's go into BIOS setup. Ask duck.ai. Oh, fucking hell. You switch your hacking...
yeah.
Switch your thing to DuckDuckGo to get away from Google's nonsense, and then they've got a bloody AI thing as well.
Yeah, they have done the entire time.
Yeah. I keep jumping around at the moment. Anyway, right, okay. The battery on this is charged. Is this on? Yeah, this is on screen. So we're in the BIOS setup at the moment. AC adapter, 45 watts. Yep, that is the This is. I've got a 45 watt charger plugged into this thing at the moment, so that is working. We run on battery. So battery is discharging, AC adapter not installed. So let's plug it into the left-hand side. 45 watts. And the battery state is going to stay on idle because it's at 99%. I'll be surprised if it starts charging, but still. The point is, yeah, that's working.
So, and it can actually run off of USB?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Without running via the battery?
Yeah, every laptop can do that. Theoretically.
Yeah.
Some laptops require the battery to be connected just because of reasons, just because the battery not being connected is considered an error state. So it will say there is an error, therefore I will not turn on. However, all laptops, there is no such thing as powering through the battery. Even though mobile phones infamously will usually not power on without a battery, that's just purely because of error state. Theoretically, in a hybrid power architecture, the laptop is supposed to be able to draw from the battery and the charger at the same time. Therefore, it requires the battery to be connected. But in reality, I think there are very, 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 very few laptops that actually do that, in my experience. So yeah, it's a bit more complicated, and I don't know the full details. But theoretically, every laptop should be able to run on charger only. Twibbit says, "I love you guys. I watch every show." Thank you, random citizen.
I love you, random citizen.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Some of our shows are better than others. Some of the shows I'm just like, well, that was a load of bollocks when we finish. But some of them I'm finished and I'm like, yeah, that was a good show. I'm happy with that one, you know. Without a battery, gaming laptops run slower. That's going to depend on the laptop, because like most gaming laptops, the battery's kind of an afterthought. It's going to depend on the laptop. So yeah, good. That works. I'm happy with that. That's a good result. So yeah, I'm going to buy some of those ones from AliExpress, because that will be a good test, because those ones won't have firmware. So that will be a good test to make sure that it does indeed automatically update the firmware on the chip. I guess
you'd have to have one working one?
I think the firmware is stored. My guess
I guess you'd have to have one working one so you can be in a powered state for it to then do the flashing. Would it not go, no, I can't do the flashing because I'm on battery?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Just, like BIOS updates sometimes refuse to update because you're not plugged into power.
And this is relevant because I've just ripped the working chip off of that other motherboard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm guessing the solution there is that I put a pre-charged battery into the laptop and then turn it on and just hope that it can sort itself out. That'll be a very interesting test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Good. Cool. Does this actually have Windows on it? I guess I'll double check. What's the stream time on? Yeah. Yeah. What happened to the New Zealand Slime VRs? They're right here. I haven't done anything more with them yet. However, I did bring my spare parts in. So the spare parts that I didn't have last week are...
in this crate?
Yeah. Ugh. Oh my god, there's so much just random stuff in this. I've got to have a sort out of this box. Here's my hecking small slimes. I built these for the I made these for the JLC PCB video. Still haven't used them a single time. I need to actually calibrate these. There's two things that need to be done with these. There was a flaw in the design that I need to fix, which causes them to drain the battery a little bit faster than they should. Basically, one of the pins is pulled to ground and shouldn't be. I need to leave it floating, and it's draining microwatts of power through that pull to ground, which is shortening the battery life. But also, I need to calibrate them, and I need to actually look up how to do that, and then I can actually. They do work. They're just not calibrated.
Yeah.
And I need to actually start using them because these technically should be better than the slimes I'm currently using because of their battery life. But my current rig works, so I've just had no desire to change it because it works. But yeah. However, yeah. Let's see. I've got batteries there. Have I got? That's spare things, resistors, diodes. I need spare boards. Oh, there's more batteries. Yeah, I've got another pallet of batteries here. What the hell? There we go. Nope. Oh no, am I out of PCBs? Yeah, I tell you what, I've got a horrible feeling I'm out of the Shine Bright PCBs. And that's going to suck, because some of these PCBs were mega Now I look a bit, that one's passable. Yeah, some of these two of the PCBs were beyond repair. So now it's am I going to do trace repair on them, or am I just going to order more PCBs?
Oh, couldn't you swap to a different design?
Not really, no, because I want a matching set to send back to the customer. So yeah, I'd have to change all of them. So yeah, I think.
I see. The different designs use different IMUs?
No, but to fit them in the same cases, just so it's a matching set.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I guess.
So yeah, I'll order another set of Shine Bright PCBs. I think. So yeah, because then I've got space. They're not expensive. It's like £10 for another pack of 20. So just like, who cares? You know? So yeah. So yeah, we've got that. So there's microcontrollers. I've got plenty of those still. I've got battery. Yeah, we've got charger modules. Got loads of those. Yeah, I've got plenty of parts in here. So yeah, I need to have a sort through all of this junk. But yeah, it's all still there. I was possibly going to do that on this stream. We just didn't get to it. But yeah, I didn't jump on this straight away because at some point I was doing a lot of Slime VR stuff and people were kind of burnt out on slime content. I know I was doing a couple ones where I was just like, yeah, I'm building slime trackers this stream. And people were like, again? Bored of slime, man. I was like, okay, message received. But yeah. The last one was interesting because we were doing an autopsy on these. But yeah, don't know. Maybe we do that next week. I could probably wait a bit. Yeah, I'm sure the client can wait another week before I get these done. Oh, also, actually, if I need to order PCBs, I've got to wait for those to show up anyway, and that'll be a couple of weeks. Yeah, maybe next week.
Very well.
Worth a video on its own?
The
maybe
reprogramming of the charge controller for the Dell laptops, not this.
Oh, I see. Understood. Yes. Could do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that message is from like 20 minutes ago.
Understood. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, this is one of those times. This is what I can already hear a friend of mine's voice saying, "Get a video editor," because this is just like, yeah, I could just edit I can edit this video from this stream into something usable there. However, I won't get around to it, but also I probably should. I'll think about it.
Do you know what you could do?
What could I do?
Get an editor.
Okay, unironically, if someone in the chat wants to download the VOD for this stream and edit that into a video, and then we can add in the other bits from the other bits and make a video out of that, hit me up. Standing offer. You won't get paid. I'm going to say that now. You're going to work for free. However, if someone wants to edit that into a video, let me know you're doing it. Is the Linux video finished? No, it's in editing hell because I need to make B-roll footage for it, and it's soul-crushingly boring making B-roll footage. I'm going to do a bit more toward that this weekend. There's been a bit of a hang-up on that because the graphics card that I was using for the Linux box I have sold, and I kind of need that graphics card to get some B-roll footage. So I'm like, simply buy another 6800. But 6800s are annoyingly expensive at the moment, so I don't want to.
I wouldn't specifically.
Yeah. So what I might do is I might just dump a different graphics card in there, and in the B-roll footage be like, the thing is different because I got B-roll footage with a different graphics card.
Yeah.
You know, you understand what is happening here. If you don't understand what is happening here, then you're probably not running Linux.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good. Very well. We will see you next week.
Instructions unclear. Installed Kden Live. I'm not going to ask people to work for free, but if you want to do it because you think it's fun, then go for it. So yeah. And yeah, I did use Kden Live in the video. Yeah, I think I've talked about my Linux test drive in general on these videos, so this is fine. But yeah, the video's on the way. Anyway, yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you all for tuning in. Next video coming up, I've got a cleaning video that I'm going to polish up this weekend and get that kicked out the door, which is kind of a cheap video. But also I'm releasing that video as an experiment because I want to see how that video performs.
Are you going to label it as grotty and...
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Like this video is going to be algorithm bait. And it's not that that's not what the channel is going to turn into or anything. I just want to see what happens if I put out an algorithm bait video. And yeah, just see what it does. So I'm going to kick that out the door. Then failing that, yeah, I've got a couple, there are still 2 more videos in the pipeline. There is the Linux video, and what's the other one that I'm working on, the long-term video? It's completely gone out my brain now. There were 2 long-term videos that I'm working on that are awkward to do, and I've forgotten the name of the other one. So yeah, we'll see. It's on the way. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next week with something else.
Until next time, goodbye.
Toodles.